What is going on, everybody? We are live, coming at you, mid-October, looking for Oh,
Paris.
are we live now? Did it take a second to go live or whatever? Anyways, we're here, mid-October. I've got Johnny Cage next to me. Not
Uh,
coincidence at all. Um, but yeah, we're looking for some suggestions for November because we have all of our
mhm.
October reactions recorded and we're working on getting those all out for you. Of course, Patreon is 3 edited movie reactions ahead of YouTube. You can check that out if you want. Uh, yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what we got because obviously when we get into December, it's going to be more Christmas based again. So
Yeah.
November is one of those months where we kind of have the freedom to do like, kinda whatever, you know? I mean, maybe we can throw in a Thanksgiving movie, but overall, we don't have to stick to a theme like we do in October or like we plan
Mhm.
on doing in December. So, we got a little bit more wiggle room for November. Also wanted to announce that, like, we mentioned it before, but we're probably going to be doing a sequel month coming up soon. We got a lot of movies we haven't done the sequels to, so you guys can leave suggestions down below on, like, some of our reactions, what sequels you wanna see us get into. Of course, I know Aliens is probably definitely going to be hit because everyone is saying that we got to watch Aliens.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that one in for sequel month. That we're thinking either January or February will be sequel month. Uh, but yeah, so you guys can leave some suggestions down below for November and sequel month. And hey, I mean, if you want to leave some suggestions for Christmas time, you could do that too. We'll probably have another stream dedicated to like December suggestions. So right now we are focusing
Yeah.
on November and sequel month, which will be later down the line. Uh,
Yeah, if you guys have any, suggestions for, like, maybe a Thanksgiving movie, I know we did, a Thanksgiving movie last year. They aren't the easiest to I mean, maybe I haven't really looked, I should say, but it's far easier to find a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, I think, than a Thanksgiving movie, like,
yeah, of course.
specifically. So, if you guys have
To
any suggestions like that.
Yeah, to update you all, just so you guys know, sometimes if you're on our Instagram, you might be able to get sneak peeks of what we've already recorded in terms of, like we give out little hints and stuff, but just to kind of reveal what we've recorded for November so far, the first reaction that hopefully will come out in November will be This Is Spinal Tap. We've already done our
Yes.
reaction to that. That was a really, really fun movie. That
Blast. That was a
reaction
blast.
yeah, that was great. That reaction should come out, beginning of November. After that, we did do True Lies. That reaction
Mhm.
will be after This Is Spinal Tap, and then finally after, True Lies and This Is Spinal Tap, we already have a Veterans Day reaction ready to go. We're not gonna say what it is because, we haven't
Mhm.
put any, like, clues or hints on Instagram yet, so, uh, we are gonna record that tomorrow, so pretty much we're looking for reactions after those 3, for November. As always, if you leave in a super chat, it will be prioritized, but in the meantime, let's focus on the regular chats here. We've got Monty Craig who says cold turkey with Dick
Cold
Van Dyke.
turkey.
Hilarious.
Mhm.
Dick Van Dyke. He's an older actor, right? He had a whole
Dick Van
show in
Dyke?
like yeah, he had a show in like the 50s, like a sitcom or something like that. The
Bear
Dick
with
Van
me.
Dyke Show, I'm pretty sure it's what it's called.
Leave him alone. He's a nice dude. Richard Wayne Van Dyke is an American actor, entrepreneur, or entertainer, sorry, and comedian. His award-winning career spans several decades. Yeah, looks like where is it?
So
Yeah,
when
The
did
Dick Van
Cold
Dyke Show, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins.
Oh, I didn't know
Ni
Dick Van Dyke was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang all the time when I was a kid.
Night at the
Oh my
Museum. He's in Night at the Museum.
Oh, really?
Both of them. Yeah, 2 of them,
Oh.
I should say, because there's 3, I think, right?
I get
Oh,
yes,
oh,
I
he's in
think
all of
so.
them, I think, actually. Never mind.
We got Sling Blade brought up a bunch of times here. So Sling Blade could be a good option.
And as
Okay.
always, guys, if you want to add a little bit of context to it without spoiling anything, feel free. If you want to be like, it's kind of based around this time period or whatever, as long as it's not going to spoil anything,
Yeah. Feel free
you
to
can
give
always
out
add a little bit.
a genre, maybe who some of the actors in it, potentially director, and without spoiling, maybe like just an idea of what it is.
Mm.
Um, because that gives us a little more ability to like kind of comment on your suggestion. Otherwise, we just have to be like, oh, okay, that's an option, you know? So, what else do we got here? Yeah, these suggestions came in early. Philip, our moderator, says that y'all in here early with those suggestions.
What up, Phil?
Um, what up, Phil? How you doing? Zay, have you seen Juno?
Juno? I don't think so.
I've seen it, I believe. It's a
Juno.
so let's put I think it's a comedy.
It is a comedy. It has Michael Cera in it, Jennifer Garner, Jason Bateman. No, I haven't. Although I recognize it. Like, as in I recognize like the characters and stuff, like this what they're wearing and everything, but I've never actually seen that movie. No.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's definitely an option. We do have James who says, "Have you guys seen Shawshank Redemption?" So, we have done our reaction to The Mist. That will come out
Mhm.
on Patreon when the next video gets released on YouTube. And I have seen Shawshank Redemption. Zay has not. And I believe that The Mist, Shawshank, and Green Mile are all part of a Frank Darabont trilogy. So we definitely need to get Zay to watch Shawshank. And November would be the perfect month
Mhm.
to do it. Me and Zay have been talking heavily about doing Shawshank. So that one is one to get excited for because that's high up there on our November list.
I'm excited to get into that for sure. I definitely want to see. You've seen just now because some reasons popped up, I guess, because they both start with SH. You've seen Shutter Island, right?
Yeah, I have. I've seen
I've
Shutter
never
Island.
seen it, but I
Oh,
just
really?
yeah, it
It's
came across.
wild.
I've heard it's pretty good. So
Yeah, it is. It's wild. All right, we've got a 4.99 super chat here from Inedible Mat Man. You would anybody out there looking to eat some mats, it's gonna have to go through him first,
all right,
right?
all
Because
right.
he's
We're
inedible.
shh, shh.
Inedible Mat
We're
Man. You
just
can't
gonna
eat Mat
we're gonna
Man.
simmer that one down. We're just gonna bring that
So
one back.
you like to eat mats.
Should we, are we
Gonna
bringing
have
back
to
the
find
compliments for each
someone else.
super chat? Or are we gonna?
Some other mat. Anyways, he says Doctor Who. Doctor Who would be fun. I've never actually watched any Doctor Who episode. I've seen clips. I know certain basic aspects. I know like there's like the TARDIS and stuff, but I don't like I'm not really deep into the Doctor Who franchise or anything like that. Zay, what about you?
I've heard that franchise is that is pretty wild. My neighbor was a huge Doctor Who fan. He's also a huge Star Trek fan. He's Star Trek over Star Wars. So he's spoken wonders about Doctor Who and Star Trek. So I would definitely be interested to get into that because I've never delved into it. However, it does seem very interesting. So I'd be definitely down for that.
Yeah, it would be a long journey. I think there's a lot of Doctor Who episodes, and I could be wrong, but I think it's the show's still going on potentially. So, but hey, it's lot of hours to invest into. So could be really, 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 really fun. I know another one that a lot of people suggest for reactions that I've never seen that is a long show is Supernatural. Have you seen Supernatural, Zay?
I've seen some of it with Tina. I would be absolutely down to watch it because I watched it like when we first started dating, and I also had a habit of falling asleep during watching that stuff. But um, it was pretty good from the little bits and pieces I remember. And also, Doctor Who is still filming. They just actually confirmed how many episodes will be going into the 15th season for it. 16 hours ago, they just confirmed how many more
Okay.
episodes. So
There
it's
you
still
go.
running.
All right. Well, thank you, Inedible Map Man, for your suggestion. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the live chat here. Let's see what we got going on. Matthew
And
says RoboCop. We did
we
RoboCop. You
did
can check
that.
out a reaction to that already.
And just to reiterate for anyone that's new in the stream chat, one, welcome. Two, even if we don't read off your suggestion, I am putting these all down a list. I have the YouTube chat pulled up in front of me. I'm copy pasting, writing these things down. So don't think that we're skipping you. It's just obviously it's impossible for us to get through every comment.
Yep. All right, Natalie, my girlfriend. How are you doing, Natalie? You beautiful,
Hey,
beautiful
Nat.
girl. She says, "Have you seen the Saw franchise?" I've seen most of them. Zay, have you seen any of the Saw franchise movies?
I've seen No, I've seen bits and pieces, and like I mostly like just certain traps, but I could never align them with what movies they're from. I'm kind of aware there's like a pretty wild story, and I think there's supposed to be like a pretty big plot twist, if I'm not mistaken. They just made another Saw too.
Yeah, I
So I
haven't seen
mean,
that. I haven't seen, like, Spiral or the newer ones, but I've seen, like, the first, like, 5 or 6,
I
I
think
think.
that would be definitely fun for us to get into because I don't know enough about the story or like the traps and why people are chosen everything. So
Oh, okay. Alright. See, I know a little bit more about that. So, yeah, that would be fun.
does
Thanks,
Cam
Nat.
I need a bucket?
Yeah, maybe. Um, Carla says soul food for Thanksgiving movie. Remember, guys,
Soul
feel
food.
free to leave
Okay.
kind of an idea of what, uh, what it may be. Um, yes, Shervin says the Pink Panther sequel is great. It's called Shot in the Dark. Yep, that's one we're heavily considering for sequel month as well. So we
Hmm.
uh we are thinking like Aliens, Shot in the Dark, maybe Doctor
Yep.
Sleep. So those could be some really good sequels. Maybe 2010 if that's what people want. I know a lot of people have suggested it, but a lot of people have also said don't watch it. So uh
Okay.
and then what do you guys think about The Exorcist 3? Does that count as a sequel month movie, even though we're skipping the second one? Should we not
Eh,
do it?
yeah, Cam and I were having this conversation. We're like, would it count? We're like, because everyone's telling us to skip the second one, so we kind of fell in this like weird dilemma of like, does that count? I mean, I was on the side of I think it's fair enough in my
Yeah.
opinion, but
Yeah.
you know, we want to see your guys' opinion as well. Right?
Exactly. Uh Morpheus says, "This is a Christmas movie, but have you guys seen It's a Wonderful Life? I heard you mention a reaction from last year, but couldn't find a vid on your channel." Yes, we were going to do it last year, but we decided that we may potentially move it to this year, and we may
Mhm.
do it as like a New Year's reaction because I have heard it's like it's a Christmas movie, but it's like more it takes place like after Christmas around the week of New Year's. So maybe we do it for a New Year's reaction. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong about that, then that would be awkward. But it is an option. Yeah, we haven't done it yet. We do want to do it. Drew says Black Christmas is, in my opinion, one of the scariest movies of all time. Yeah, Black Christmas is up there as an option for
Okay.
us. How's everybody's Monday going? Right? We
How is
didn't
everyone's
even
Monday going?
we didn't even ask you. We just went right into the suggestions.
Come
Let's
on.
take a second and relax,
Monday's a
okay?
tough day, man. Monday's always a tough day. Just
Yeah.
coming off the weekend.
Yeah. I feel that. But there are people out there whose Mondays are their weekends. And it's Wednesday that's a bitch, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And real quick, just to Paradox guy, I don't have the timestamp, but just real quick, we did react to Gran Torino. You can check that out on our channel. We do have a Gran Torino reaction. Absolutely fantastic movie. Cam and I loved it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Jason says, "Is there a specific genre you're wanting for November?" No, no specific genre.
Mm.
Um We have an idea for, like, a finale on November. I remember I brought it up to Zay, but I haven't actually I remember I forgot what it was, but I did remember what it was. I'm gonna tell him in private. But overall
You did remember it.
yeah, I did remember,
Okay.
but overall, um, we're thinking anything for November. Well, it's like a free month between October and December, so we can kinda just
Yeah.
do whatever. Dennis says, "Love the channel." Thank you, Dennis. Much
Thank you,
appreciated.
Dennis.
Let's go to something more recent. Aaron Alfeche says, "Cam&Zay, you gotta watch Carlito's Way, a classic and one of the best gangster movies. Al Pacino and Sean Penn were brilliant in this." Okay. So a
I like that. I like
gangster.
the sound of that.
Yeah. Carlito's Way. Don't mess with Carlito. A gangster movie with Al Pacino and Sean Penn. Interesting.
Okay.
We'll have to check that one out. Melissa
Love seeing these
says,
suggestions.
OMG, I'm literally on a plane. We just docked and you guys are live. Yes, we are, Melissa. Well, glad you docked because we don't want to interfere with the plane signal if you tried to tune in live and all of a sudden everyone's hearing movie suggestions over the intercom. That would not be fun. Unless some people would be like, write that down, write that down.
Write that down right now. Oh, yeah, I've never seen that one. Oh my gosh. I'm loving the suggestions though I'm seeing. I'm just kind of scrolling through them, picking them up. There's some really good suggestions in here.
Melissa also says, great glasses, eh?
Oh, thank you. You know, I try. Got these at Target. 10 beans, you know? Can't beat a steal like that.
Hey, 10 beans. That is quite the steal.
It's quite a steal.
I had 10 beans once and now I have a hole in my roof from a magic vine.
It just doesn't
and a golden goose. A golden egg-laying goose named Honkers. Actually.
Oh, no. Hey, how about hey, what else are people saying in chat?
Well, we have a $4.99 super chat from Jonathan Boblets. Hey, John, how you doing? He's a regular supporter of ours. Glad to see you here. He says you should start with the ultimate gangster movie, The Godfather with Al Pacino. So here's a quick rundown about The Godfather, okay? Zay, you've seen this, correct?
Godfather?
Have you seen this?
I don't think so. No.
I will tell you guys that for me, this movie was played multiple times in school during
I did see it. Yes,
but I believe I went to sleep every time it played. I remember waking up during a lot of moments, so I know some pretty significant things that happened in the first one. I don't believe I've seen any of the second one, and I ultimately know what happens to I believe the main character. So I don't know if what I know ruins the franchise, but it would be really fun to get into because everybody loves the Godfather movies. What are your thoughts about that, Zay?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be down to do it. I probably remember a little bit more than you do. The problem is I'm really only remembering one specific like scene, or more like a scene setting is really what I'm remembering. And I think it's from The Godfather.
I definitely remember the thing with the horse. I remember that.
I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking. Okay, so maybe we can do that.
Yeah, maybe I don't
remember. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Yeah, Godfather. We definitely want to what we might do is we might talk to our girlfriends and see if they've seen it. That way, we have for sure somebody that hasn't seen it at all type of situation. But definitely something we want to get to. So thank you, John. All right, James Jackson coming in, one of our Patreons with a $20 smackaroony, just whacking us across the face with a cement brick of $20 here. Getting a mild subdural hematoma from that one. Thank you, James Jackson, for the $20 super chat. James Jackson says, glad Zay has his hangover glasses on early. I still think Requiem for a Dream by Darren Aronofsky, which is an incredible movie about addiction. Also would love Dolores Claiborne with Kathy Bates, and it is by Stephen King. Interesting. Okay. Dolores Claiborne, Zay, was I believe the most recommended reaction on our Misery reaction. It was either that one or Fried Green Tomatoes. Yeah, which I haven't seen either. Have you seen either of those?
No, I have not. Okay. Huh. I did just put these down on the list. I also highlighted them. Huh. That got suggested. I mean, well, I guess that was before I had our studio thing, so I wasn't really seeing comments.
Oh. Okay, but you got everything?
Yeah, I got it all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Dolores Claiborne would be interesting. I heard apparently Kathy Bates is an amazing performance, and if it's by Stephen King, I'm sure it's going to be great. We've got a nice little Stephen King track record if you think about it. We do have Cujo and the Mist coming up. Cujo is already available. Our reaction to that is on Patreon right now. That'll come out on YouTube at some point soon. And The Mist will be coming out on Patreon soon. And we've got Green Mile. We've got The Shining. We've got what other Stephen King? Misery. We got a lot of Stephen King
Yeah.
reactions, and I've always had a blast on every one. So
Yeah, so they're always a good. I mean, Stephen King's a freaking genius as well. So it's always fun to get into like renowned people like that's films. And
yeah, and what was that?
oh, sorry, just piggybacking off that because you're saying like how we already have some Stephen King. Because I saw another comment. We have The Conjuring will be going up on our YouTube. I saw one or two people mention the Conjuring series, so stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, if you want a sneak peek, what's on Patreon right now, early access, you can get our reactions to Night of the Living Dead, the 1968 George Romero version. That will be the next video that hits YouTube. Then after that will be The Conjuring 2013. That was a brutally horrifying experience. And also Cujo. You can get early access to those 3 reactions right now on Patreon. And as we post more reactions on Patreon, those ones that I mentioned will be hitting YouTube and so on. And Requiem for a Dream, yeah, that's been suggested so many times. So like that might be a really big good one for November. And I know Darren Aronofsky is he's like I've heard his name in the film business before, so I'm sure he does really good stuff. But yes, thank you, James, and thank you for the $20 super chat. The support really does mean a lot. It really helps us out. And it's extremely appreciated. So thank you. Cool. All right, great suggestions. Next up, we've got Just Jason with a $5 smackaroni. Just Jason says Mask with Cher and Sam Elliott. It's based on the true story of a boy named Rocky Dennis. Okay. Interesting.
All
True
right.
story movies are always a blast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love true story movies.
Yeah,
Add the
because
layer to it always.
yeah, because it makes you wonder, like, all right, even though this is a true story, like, how much of it is like dramatized and how much of it
Mhm.
isn't? And then you're like, you usually learn like in the comments, like this is true, this is not true, that, and then you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, like that happened, or like this, or like that, like that's crazy. Um, so yeah, okay, interesting. And Cher and Sam Elliott, like what a couple of names there, you know?
I know, yeah.
Perfect. All right, Jason, thank you for the $5 super chat. Mask, that will have to be something to look into. I've seen it suggested a few times before, so thanks. Something for November possibly. Renee comes in with a $9.99 super chat, and Jason, thanks for the $5. It means a lot. Renee says with a $9.99 super chat says The Family Stone is an awesome movie for the holidays. Still waiting on Tombstone. What you waiting for, Renee? Our reaction to Tombstone has been out. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. You can watch our full-length reaction on Patreon, but you can watch our edited reaction right here on YouTube and Patreon, technically. But it's available here now on YouTube, so check it out, Renee. Not sure how you missed that one. You're a pretty frequent flyer in the Cam&Zay Airlines, but happy to deliver the news for you. The Family Stone, interesting. I wonder what she says for
Family
the
Stone is
holiday.
interesting.
Zay, why do you think she says for the holidays?
For the holiday, I mean, I don't know. For the holidays, still waiting. I don't know. I don't really know much about the Family Stone, so maybe
Interesting.
the romance comedy.
Okay.
Okay, it's got Sarah Jessica Parker
Oh,
is in it. I don't know.
okay. Well,
We'll
something to
just
look
have to
into.
find out.
Yeah.
Luke
Uh
Wilson's in it as well.
oh, cool. All
And
right.
Rachel
Well,
McAdams.
Renee,
Wow.
happy to deliver the news about Tombstone. Thank you for the 9.99 super chat. Hope your day has been going great. Next up, we've got Knox of Spades with a Canada 5, a Canada smackaroonie. Took that 5, put it in liquid nitrogen, and smacked it on our heads. Breaks open and reveals a message. It says, "Hey, thanks for streaming. Are there any films/movie series you refuse to watch? And what kids movie do you think would be great as an R-rated film?" Interesting.
Whoa, that's a wild question. Hold on, I'm gonna have to reread that. Any film movies you refuse to watch?
Yeah, let's start there. Any film/movie series you refuse to watch? I am not excited to watch Velocipaster, which Zay has been begging me to watch for the beginning of time.
It's the best film ever. I can't wait.
Starting to think he is part dinosaur.
You never know.
But I mean, anything I refuse to watch. Not that I can think. Is there anything that you're like, no way? I mean, I'm probably not going to end up watching any of the new seasons of Dora, if that's still going on or anything like that.
No, I don't know if there's any really a film or a series that I refuse to watch.
Yeah, I mean, even
I
if I
mean,
have kids, I guess I'll watch them, you know?
there's probably no film or movie series. I mean, there's shows I won't watch, but they're mostly like anime because, they're just too long. But I actually am more interested in the second question. What kids movie do you think would be great as an R-rated film? Is insane.
I will say, I'm not sure about films or movie series, but I have heard horrible things about the show Riverdale. So I think I
Really? I thought
started it
people
one
liked
time
that.
when I was younger, but like later on, apparently it's just gotten really bad. But I'm not against anything.
Huh.
What kids movie do you think would be great as an R-rated film?
It's an R-rated film. Man.
I don't know why. Like, I'm
Oh
trying to
no.
think of like what would be like. I think Hercules would be really cool.
Be insane.
Like a
That would be
really cool
sick. That would be really
R-rated.
sick.
It might have already. I know there was one with Dwayne Johnson, I think. So one might have been R. I don't think so if Dwayne Johnson's in it. But hey, Hercules would be my pick. What about you, Zay?
You could just rebrand Lady and the Tramp as Cujo Part 2 with a wife. Just have them terrorizing the streets.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I don't even
Slurping
know.
on an intestines together instead of spaghetti.
Oh god. I'm trying to think like, oh man. I don't know. Up could be really depressing. Can it be? Isn't it
Oh
supposed to be?
yeah.
Isn't it like a sad movie?
It is sad,
I've
but I
never
don't know
seen it,
how
but
how you would make it R. That's
R,
my
yeah,
question.
I don't
Yeah.
know enough about it. I just know it's like really sad.
Maybe make the grandpa like have a lot of slurs. I guess that would be.
Jesus.
I guess that would be how you would make it R.
Just starts.
Up,
Oh
starring
my.
Clint Eastwood. Fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Um,
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
you could literally take Clint Eastwood and the kid from Gran Torino and just put them in the
I just
Up movie.
redo it all
Yeah.
over again.
All right. Thank you, Knox with Spades. Those were really fun questions. Thank you for the $5 from Canada and that support and the liquid nitrogen smack to the forehead. Thank you, Knox.
Yeah.
We've got a $5 ka-ching ka-chang nunchuck slap to the shoulders. Thank you, Bob S. He says, "Hey guys, loved your Alien reaction. I'm going to suggest Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, a great mob movie." Zay, have you seen Goodfellas?
Hold on. Because I don't know if I have. No, I haven't seen Goodfellas. No.
Okay.
I was thinking of a different movie. So no, I would love to see Goodfellas.
Okay. Well, I don't believe I've seen Goodfellas either. I was thinking of The Usual Suspects when I first read it, but then I realized no, that's The Usual Suspects. So Goodfellas, okay. Martin Scorsese, love his work. Taxi Driver, he did, Zay, and we watched that one.
Yep.
Which is really good.
Oh, that was a great movie.
So it would be definitely interesting to see his take on a mob movie because he's got really good at that like style of like New York or like the underground type of like vibe. So that'd be interesting. Thank you, Bob, for the suggestion. Glad to see you around here, and thank you for the $5. Jeremy Howe with a $1.99 pebble to the nipple. Jeremy says 1985's Better Off Dead with John Cusack. So funny. I've heard John Cusack or Cusack. I've heard that name before, but I don't know if I actually know who that is.
John Cusack. That here, let me see. Let me see if I can.
And while you're doing that, Bob, thank you for enjoying the reaction. Glad you enjoyed. All right, back.
Oh yeah, you definitely know John Cusack.
Oh, I do.
He was in. Let's see. Hold on, I mean, I recognize his face big time.
Okay.
He was in 2012. He was in. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything that you'd recognize from. I recognize his face, but I just don't know. I know he was in 2012. But I know he was in something. I've seen him in something bigger than this. I just don't know. If you look up his face, you'd be like, "Oh, I know this guy, guaranteed."
Okay. Well, Uh, Interesting. We'll have to check it out. It's an 80s movie. A lot of our audience loves those 80s movie reactions. So, that would be interesting to check out. And it sounds like it's a comedy. You know, we love our comedies, Zay. Um,
Yes.
all right, Jeremy. Thank you for the 199 pebble to the nipple.
Yep.
And
You didn't even have to say it again. That's the craziest part. You
thanks
ran
for
it
the
back.
support. It means a lot. And what Zay, what movie is that from? His thumbnail. I don't remember, or his profile picture. I don't believe I've seen that movie, but I've
Uh
seen like images of it before.
oh, that's Good Burger, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Have you seen that
It's
movie?
like I've never seen it, but I think that's what it is. It's like
Yeah,
home
I've
with a
never
good
seen it
burger,
either.
home with a good burger. I think it's like the main line that they say.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, um, yeah, I think I might have heard that before. Thank you, Jeremy. And all right, let's get back to the live chats. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah,
If you
Jeff
see
says,
links posted, that's me posting link. If, in case someone suggests a movie that we've done, it's easier if I just drop them
you're
the little link ski.
posting the
Yeah,
link to the reaction.
that way they know. Yeah, that way they can just have it there, save it on,
Nice.
and they can watch it after the stream if they're so inclined.
Nice, nice, nice. We got some backup for Goodfellas. Okay. Interesting. Renee says, "Thank you. Going to watch now." There you go. We found that Tombstone reaction. Nisto says Billy Madison. Have you seen Billy Madison? Say?
Yes, I have very funny,
Yeah.
very
That's
funny.
about the guy who has to go back to school, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I've seen that too.
Have
Um,
you seen The Whale with Brendan Fraser?
no, I've wanted to though.
Okay, Andrew Riley. I don't have timestamps, so sorry guys if I don't get to pull up. But Andrew Riley mentioned it. Asked if we like. Well, said if you like The Whale, you should watch him on the other side of the spectrum, the comedy Blast from the Past. So I did put both down because I haven't seen The Whale either.
Do you know The Whale came out like recently and
Yes,
it
yes,
won
yes.
like an Oscar, or he won, or won something.
He won some like crazy. He won a pretty good award for it. I'm pretty sure, right? Pretty, or it won an award at least.
Oh. Um
Oh no. What?
oh, okay. Renee says, "I feel like an idiot. What else is new? I watched and sent a thank you chat 2 weeks ago." That's right, you did. You put a 9.99 thank you chat on the reaction. So thank you for that. We weren't even doing a live at the time. Of course, and you just put it super thanks right down in the comments. So well, now we have the opportunity to thank you for that live. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, so I guess you did see it.
Oh my
We've all had
goodness.
those moments.
Let's see here. Nisto said Clockwork Orange. That's one that Cam and I have discussed.
Yes,
We
that is
haven't.
on the
I mean,
back burner.
it is on the back burner. Matthew asked if we're ever gonna do vlogs or gaming reactions or merch. Cam does come over to my Twitch streams and plays games with me online. In regards to us doing gaming things like just separate and having like a separate channel, not really in the conversation for right now. I'm just because we don't have time. We just between school, work, and already recording the reactions and stuff. Who knows in the future? We can't make any promises on that type of stuff, but we'll
I
see where we
think
go.
I think when it
Eh,
comes to that kind of stuff, like, yeah, if we can make what we're doing here a potential, like, full-time situation, which we're not there. But if we ever do get there, that would give us the opportunity to potentially branch out and add new types of, content. Of course, potentially probably on other channels or something like that. But because of time and other parts of our lives, it's not possible just yet. But this was something we were able to do full time. We would love
mm,
to keep trying to spice up the game and introducing new things. And same thing with merch. We don't think there's that much of a desire for merch. We've not been that interested. It's been brought up a couple times. But again, that's probably something like if we're doing this full time and we really see like that's something you guys just really, really want, then obviously we would do that for you. And for us. But in the meantime, like Zay was mentioning, there's only so much we can handle with what we've got going on the other side of our lives as well. But yeah,
yeah, but again, it'd be a freaking blast if we could make it work. So we'll keep you guys posted, obviously, if anything like that comes up, because that's a major announcement. But
Yeah. Okay. We've got Ryan Roach with a $5 paper football to the chin.
just doesn't
Thank you.
never ends.
Thank you, Ryan, with a $5 paper football to the chin. Ryan says when you open up the paper football, there's a note on it, and it says, "Have you seen any Coen Brothers movies? They have made a ton of great flicks, especially Fargo and Big Lebowski." I I've heard of the Coen Brothers. I'm not sure what other films they have done that I can recall of. I have not seen Big Lebowski. I did start the Fargo TV series, but I don't know if I even got through the first episode, and I never went back to it. Not because it was bad, just because it was like one of those days where I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll try this," and then like I just kind of got busy or moved on and then never went back to it. But I don't believe I've seen the movies. Hey, what about you? Do you know anything about the Coen Brothers or Fargo or Big Lebowski?
So I know I'm aware that they were that directed Big Lebowski and or they were in I've seen or I've never seen Fargo. I actually think I watched the first episode of the series as well. I know you said you how far did you get in the series? Not very far.
The first episode might be the farthest I got, if I even made it through the
Okay.
first.
Okay, yeah. So I know that there's a movie, right? Because I think that we actually have it on DVD still at my house.
Oh, okay.
Keith, my stepdad, loved it. He was a big fan of Fargo, and he binged the series as well. But I would and the Big Lebowski I've heard a lot about, but I've never really looked at it or never really looked into it. So I'd be down to watch either of those. I'm well aware of both titles though.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for the $5 paper football to the chin. Means a lot. It really does help us out. And next we've got Jens with a $5. Zay, what is this? What does she got for us here? A $5 what? What are we
Well,
looking at?
oh gosh, she always needs me to be um $5 $5. You know what? Just came up with a 5-iron and gave us 5 swings for the $5 to the kneecap to let us know.
Okay.
This is
What does she have to say?
Big Trouble Little China for an 80s action comedy and The Natural for sports. Okay. We don't really have any sport reactions on here. We only have 42, right? I think
Yeah, we
we've
did
done.
42, and I don't know if you count Caddyshack.
Yeah, we could count Caddyshack. Yeah. 42 is more on the serious end, but we can count Caddyshack. That's still sport based.
Yeah.
Okay. Big Trouble Little China has been suggested a lot. I will say that. I've seen that even through the stream today. I've seen it a bunch. Our last stream, a bunch. People have been urging us to go watch that. So I'd be very interested, obviously, in seeing that. We love comedies, and action comedies are always a good time. And The Natural, I've never actually heard of that. So I'm interested to see what that is about.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat here. I haven't heard of The Natural, but I've heard of Big Trouble Little China a bunch of times, and it sounds like it could be fun. Action comedies are great. It sounds like there might be a large amount of trouble in a minor amount of China. Well, we'll have to see. I'm not sure. Just going by the name there. But thank you, Jens, for the $5 super chat. It means a lot, and yeah, thank you. Next up, we've got Drop Barracuda with a $5 flamethrower to the hair. Thank you, Drop Barracuda, for the $5 flamethrower to the hair. Drop Barracuda says, "Hey-o! No request yet, just supporting. Got the fit and the drip tonight. Can I get a voice change?" Of course you can.
You always can.
Starting this early, huh, guys? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, everybody.
Yeah.
You guys are unbelievable. You guys just you pain me. Why do you do this to me? Oh, there it is. Yep. You
Okay. All right. Thank you. Drop. There's your voice change. Thanks for the support. Has nothing to say.
Yes, thank
Wanted
you.
a little bit of a voice change and wanted to compliment the fit and the drip. No request yet. And yeah, just supporting. He has supported multiple times, and he is a great reoccurring supporter. Thank you so much, Drop. You never have to do it, but you always do. All right. Next up, we have look who we got. Drop Barracuda with another $5 poison ivy spread to the knee. Thank you, Drop Barracuda, for the $5 poison ivy spread to the knee. Drop Barracuda says, this just in. If y'all haven't seen the Big Lebowski yet, it really is a must. One of the great American stories ever captured on film. Is it about bowling? I think it's about bowling.
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting though.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think it's about bowling. But I have never seen it, so I know who's it? Jeff Bridges or someone's in that movie. I don't remember who the main actor is. But could be really, really, really fun. So definitely an option for November. Thank you, Drop Barracuda, and thank you for the $5 poison ivy spread to the knee. Thank you. Let's
You're
go
very
back.
unique with these.
Let's go back to the live chat here. We've got Cal L Can Fly says, fellow reactor here, guys. Really been enjoying your content lately. Well, thank you for joining our content, for stopping by. We'll have to check you out after this. Cal L Can Fly. Well, if you guys are looking for some other reactors, maybe check out Cal L Can Fly. Cal L Can Fly. Not wrong there. Cool little profile picture there. So yeah. Well, we haven't seen you yet, but we would love to check you out. So, and we're glad you enjoy. Okay.
You guys drop suggestions so fast. I'm trying to keep up. Oh, The Natural's about Barry Bonds. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, that's actually very intriguing.
Drop
Wow.
Barracuda says it's Jeff Bridges and bowling. Yes, I thought it was bowling. But Ryan says it's not about bowling, but it contains bowling. Gotcha.
Interesting. Okay. Are you good at bowling?
I'll
take that as a no.
yes.
Got it. Nope.
I'm
It's
gonna
all right.
say
too late.
yes. Zay, have you seen Weekend at Bernie's?
No, I haven't. And just because the name of that reminds me of another movie. Have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's? Is that another movie?
I don't think I've seen either, but I know the Weekend at I know what the big like thing is for Weekend at Bernie's. Like I know what they end up like I know what like the funny thing is what they have to do during that movie.
Okay, yeah, I know nothing about either of them, so I would definitely be down to do those.
Okay, all right, great. Ask the 8-Ball says Planes, Trains, Automobiles is a must-watch for Thanksgiving. We've already done a reaction to that. You can check that out on our channel.
I think somewhere in here, but I can. Yeah. We already did it. It was a freaking blast. Again, I'll reiterate that movie. Oh man, that had us cackling.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Super Slav says Frozen 2. What? How do you know we haven't seen Frozen 1?
How many times have we seen Frozen 1 is the real question.
Not as many times as I've seen Frozen 2, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Ruth says My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I don't believe I've watched that in its entirety, but I know what's that? Russell Brand and Jonah Hill is in there.
I'm aware. I think yes, they're both in there, but that I have not seen it.
Okay. A lot of great suggestions here. A lot of great suggestions.
Killing it with the suggestions. I'm not gonna lie.
Drop Barracuda says never seen Frozen personally. Frozen's a pretty good movie. I mean, I was in like
delve into it
or high school when I saw it.
Try to downplay it because you loved it.
It was great. Yeah, I showed you. I watched it and showed you. I was like, you guys got to check this out. This movie's actually pretty good.
Then we listen to the soundtrack, and then it's just like
Ryan says let's get him to the Greek. Oh, okay. So there you go. Maybe I haven't seen the movie at all.
Okay,
Good to
interesting.
know. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Ryan's always here to clear things up for us. We've got
Someone suggested Sausage Party. I don't know if you've ever
Oh
seen that.
gosh, that movie. I don't know
Uh,
how that. I don't know how that movie coincides with. Uh, Zay, you there? Zay,
yeah, I'm here.
I don't know how that movie
Yeah, I'm here.
coincides with.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Okay. I don't know how that movie coincides with YouTube's community guidelines.
I remember I went to go see that movie and some woman took her child out like the first 10 minutes in. I was like, you brought your child here to see this movie?
Have you
She
not
must have
seen the
thought
trailer? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Oh man.
we got a $1.99 we got a $1.99 stub to the toe. Little bump on
Okay.
the corner of a desk there. Uh Jeremy Howe says UHF with Weird Al. Keep up the great content, guys. Well, glad you enjoy. UHF. What is that about? Say. Holy mother of fuck. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Oh my fucking, oh my
What just
gosh.
happened?
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Well,
whoa.
before I've not seen UHF. It's with Weird Al, like Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, I
Is
guess
my
so.
question?
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. We'll see what UHF means. Thank you, Jeremy, for the $1.99 super chat. I'm trying to keep my composure here. It does mean a lot. And Good Booker is something we could probably check out at some point too. Thank you, Jeremy. We've got a $500. What do we even call it? A nuclear explosion to the
500
face?
nuclear missile coming through here. Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what to say right now. This is absolutely this is unnecessary, but thank you so much, Alan Mitchell.
That's insane.
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know. I literally don't even know what to say right now.
We're not deserving of that. We appreciate it, but holy shit. I mean, guys, we appreciate the love and support as always. But again, we tell you every time you guys don't need to pay us money for your suggestions. It's just insane. I mean, the support is unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Alan, man, look, you didn't even need to put in that much to say what you had to say. That is an unbelievable amount. That is extremely, extremely, extremely generous. Thank you so much for your generosity and for your support. It truly, truly, truly strikes us deep down, and we are extremely appreciative and grateful for that. Thank you so much. Let's see what you have to say. Alan says, for all the joy you guys have given me the last couple of years, my first participation with any channel, because you had the best take ever on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Think about 2010, the year we make Contact. Not Kubrick level filming, but great premise for what happened to Hal and the future of mankind. Okay, first of all, we're so happy that we're able to give you that level of joy. One of the things we want to one of the vibes we want to emulate here is that, like, you guys can kind of like sit down and watch these movies with us, if you have our humor, if you share our vibes or just get joy out of it. We hope to, give you that kind of presence, that you can feel like we're with you in the room for a little bit watching the movie, or you're with us in the room for watching the movie or whatever. And we're so happy that it gives you this kind of joy. And, that's part of what we set out to do. Initially, we kind of just wanted to start the channel and just kind of like react to things and kind of have a database for ourselves. But once we've seen so many people come in, obviously we wanted to include you guys as well and kind of keep things, more like inclusive. So we're so happy that you've had an experience like that. It seems like, and it sounds like it's your first participation with any channel. That is huge to us. I mean, Zay, how many YouTube channels there are? Like, that's crazy.
Oh, dude, there's thousands. There's tens of thousands of YouTube channels. And the fact, that you decide you'd participate with us to be your first participation at that level too. I mean, again, obviously we appreciate it. I mean, we're always going to be like, listen, you guys keep your fucking money. Sorry, I swore. Well, I mean, it's fine. But it's like, it's just unbelievable, man. Like that type of support, it means a lot to Cam and I. And again, your guys' support is the reason why we're doing this. We're glad that we can provide content that you guys enjoy. We hope that, it helps, if you guys are having a bad day, you can put us on. Maybe it helps you get through it. If it just can keep you distracted, or just, you're able to sit down and have a blast. We have a blast recording it. And all we can ask or hope is that you guys are having the same good vibes, energy, and everything when you're watching our reactions to it. So,
yeah. So listen, let's talk about 2001 for a second. Zay, this is one of our most hotly on the comments. I think 2001 is up there for the number one spot as the most everyone loves. Not well. There's always there's always that 1 or 2% that don't like our reactions, and that's completely fine. But there's always great comments, great reaction and hilarious reaction and things like that. And those I love seeing those comments. They're absolutely fantastic. But 2001 A Space Odyssey is one of our, if it's not the top one, it's one of the reactions where we get the most heartfelt, genuine, true praise to any commentary we've ever given. People really love our 2001 reaction. They talk about the theories we have and how some of them think we're spot on, and how the intelligent discussion we had during that reaction. And we're so happy you were able to have that similar experience where you were able to watch that with us and really enjoy it, and think that we had the best take ever. That's incredible. Yeah.
I don't think I would ever go to say that our takes are the best takes in anything. I mean, we try to give you guys as concise and as, detailed analysis of what we're watching that we can. We're glad that you guys enjoy our takes on it, or enjoy, what we say and that how we articulate what we're feeling and everything about the films. But I mean, that's just, 2001 Space Odyssey was an experience. I mean, nonetheless, it was an absolute wild trip of a reaction. And there's a reason why, our discussion got that deep and was that heartfelt, because it was a great film. I mean, so I'm just astonished. Thank you again so much, Alan Mitchell. Someone said Alan Mitchell should get to choose the next reaction.
Well, he mentions 2010, the year we made contact. He says to think about that one, which is, we are planning on doing a sequel month in January or February. And I mean, we don't want to set a precedent where if you, put in $500, we're definitely going to do a recommendation that you want or whatever. But I think after, this one, just because he didn't put this in thinking he was guaranteed to get, he's recommending it. I think we should do it for sure for the sequel month.
I second that 100%.
All right. So. Well, we'll as of right now, we are setting it on the list for sequel month. So keep an eye out in January or February for 2010, the year we make contact. But we want to make it very clear to you guys, we are not trying to set a precedent that if you submit $500, you're gonna get your movie reacted to. This is just a special moment where Alan didn't have any idea that we were going to do it for sure. This was just a suggestion from him. It wasn't like a guaranteed promise or anything. And he sent in $500, just throwing it out there. So we're gonna get to that one. That's our plan for one of the movies for sequel month. So thank you, Alan.
A lot of people said we're not going to be starving for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he says not Kubrick level filmmaking, but a great premise for what happened to Hal and the future of mankind. It would be definitely be interesting to check out. Thank you so much, Alan. Glad you enjoy. And yeah, thank you again. I'm gonna say it a million times if we don't keep moving on. But yeah, we're extremely appreciative. Wow, and grateful. Thank you for the $500 nuclear missiles to the face. All right,
500 of them. Thanks. Yeah. Nuclear fallout just occurred. Gosh, that's why my room's red.
Yeah. All right. we've got Knox of Spades. Hey, Knox, how you doing? We're coming back with a Canada 5, another Canada 5. What do we got? Another Canada 5 little Zippo lighter explosion in the hand there. Thank you, Knox of Spades, for the Canada 5. She says, 2 questions again. 1, if we lived
Okay.
in a world where remakes were always good, what film should be remade? Any films/shows
Mm,
you'd recommend to us? That's the second question. Zay, okay, so how about you go first? If we lived in a
ooh,
world
for
where
the
remakes were
remake,
always good, what film should be remade? If you could guarantee that they were going to be good.
it's gonna
So
be top
let's just
tier remake.
well, let's set the precedent as good, meaning as good as the original or better.
As
So
good as
the
the
remake
original or
won't
better?
be worse. The remake won't be worse.
That's a tough ass question. Damn, Knox, you always have some wild questions. And a remake that would be as I don't know. I mean, I don't know because you know what my issue is like I think of some of the classic movies that we've reacted to and stuff. And I like almost don't want it to be remade because I'm like it's so good. Like you know what I mean?
Right, but if you
Like
could
it
like maybe like just more of like a modern take on something, right? Like a
more modern take on
here's an
something.
example. I would love to see Life of Brian remade. I would love to see how they tackle that
That was one. Okay,
now.
yeah.
With modern technology, maybe more modern comedy introduced, not replacing the previous comedy, but like
That's fair.
integrating it as well. If we're guaranteed to get as good or an even better version, I would love to see what the Monty Python crew nowadays with all their experience. I don't think all of them are alive now, but you know, if you could theoretically bring them all back to life and make it now, I would be interested to see how they do it. So that would be mine for a remake, a
Man,
modern
I
remake.
mean, god damn, that's actually great. That was a great because that was one that we actually kind of discussed and we're like, I wonder like if
Yeah.
it could be redone one more time. Um, I guess if I had to pick something, I mean, shit, I don't even know. Fucking, oh my god, my bad, guys. I know I have a potty mouth. Sue me.
Not worse than mine.
I get I don't want to piggyback off here, so maybe I mean RoboCop would be interesting to see
Yeah.
redone.
To be fair, the
I
remake apparently did not do very well in 2014.
Good enough for a reason for us to have one that's done well.
Yeah, okay, fair point. Yeah, okay, great. Any films/shows that we would recommend to you all? Okay, I'll tell you guys this right now. I have a guilty pleasure show. It's not the best show. I've heard it isn't received very well by a lot of people. I've watched it multiple times though. Prison Break. I really enjoyed that show.
Really? People don't I thought people liked that show.
I think people liked the first season or first 2 seasons, but then people hated the rest. The rest does get crazy, but overall, I really enjoyed the show, and I don't think it's in the modern like sphere enough, like the modern like TV sphere enough. People don't talk about it enough. So if you haven't seen Prison Break, check it out. It's really fun concept. The first season is the best season, but
Okay.
it's great. I really liked it.
Um, I mean, if you like, because I kind of like reality TV sometimes, so like I can't help it. But like Love Island is so funny to just watch people like watch them engage with each other is so funny to me. It's gotta be like the Love Island, like the British people though, Love Island, because they are ruthless. Like they don't care. They just say what they want to say about you too. It's insane. I love stuff like that because I guess I'm a drama queen or drama fiend, maybe.
All right. Well, there you go. Thanks, Knox of Spades. You always have some interesting questions there. Thank you for the $5 Canada super chat. Next up, we've got Renee. Renee comes with back at us with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Renee. Oh, Renee. 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 Renee says 42 for sports. True story of Jackie Robinson, the first black MLB player. Alan Mitchell, you are the man. You do deserve it, guys. Don't you know y'all are spreading the joy? Well, Renee, here's some more joy to spread to you. You wanted Tombstone, you got it instantly. You wanted 42. You got
I
it
dropped I'm
instantly.
dropping in the chat right there. There's the
We
link.
have done our reaction to 42 already. That has been out. Just maybe type it in the search bar. I feel so bad when you type in, you know, for a whole
It's all
super
love,
chat for a
Renee,
movie
though.
we've already seen and reacted to, but it does bring to your attention that we have done a reaction to that, and you can check that out now. Thank you, Renee.
If you think of another one, you don't have to super chat. I'll keep my eye out, and we'll pull it up. We'll make sure to pull it up if you think of another movie. Just that way, it doesn't feel like you'd wasted super chat on that.
Sure. There you go. Renee says about Alan Mitchell, you are the man. You are the man, Alan Mitchell. Thank you so much again for that. She says, you do deserve it, guys. Don't you know y'all are spreading the joy? Well, thank you so much, Renee. That's sweet. We're glad that you guys are enjoying our content so much. I mean, we just hit 18,000 subscribers. We're on track to potentially hit our goal of 20,000 by the end of the year. And it truly, it just, it's one of those things where like Zay and I, we talked about our chemistry and we're like, we got good chemistry. Like we find each other so entertaining. I'm sure other people find us entertaining, but it's always like speculative. Well, hey buddy, don't ruin the moment. It's always speculative until you actually see the results and you're like, wow, people really do enjoy what we got going on here. And it's very validating. So thank you, Renee, and glad you are all enjoying.
Thank you.
And it was a $9.99 baseball bat to the neck. Thank you, Renee, for that one.
Oh my God.
All right. Next, we've got Bob S coming back at us with a $5 frisbee
shuriken to the heart. Oh, I took a more violent. You went frisbee.
Yeah,
you just did baseball to the neck.
Yeah, well, because it was $9.90. The intensity goes higher. The amount of money
the shuriken
so I was thinking
may not have killed us.
Well, you said to the heart. You didn't say to the chest.
It stuck with us.
Well, no pun intended. Okay. Anyways, Bob S says, I second fierce deity for Ridley Scott's Legend. Make sure you watch the director's cut. It's a great adult fairy tale. U.S. release was cut to hell. Okay, good to know. Legend, and the director's cut. Have I? No, I've heard of Legion, and I've heard of I Am Legend, but I've not. I don't believe I've heard of Legend. I'm not sure.
Legend sounds very familiar. Let's see. Okay. Legend is a 1985 adventure romance. It's got Mia Sara, Tim Curry, Tom Cruise, David Bennett. Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting. It is literally a fairy tale. I just saw some of the like it mentioned a unicorn. Yeah. It's literally an adult fairy. That's kind of sick, actually.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that's got my attention. All right. Well, thank you, Bob S, and good shout out to Fierce Deity there for the suggestion. All right. Next up on the list, we've got Morpheus with a $5. What do we got? Say a $5 what?
Oh, well, last time a shuriken was too aggressive. I don't know if I got this one. It's $5. Cam and I were ready to rebound the basketball, and it just hit off the backboard and smacked us in the face.
Oh,
you know how bad that hurts? Yeah, you know that, oh God, it hits you right in the nose.
It's not as bad as whatever. I don't know what it's called, but whenever we play basketball, this happened to me. I feel like statistically more than it should when the ball jams your fucking finger. Whatever that's called.
Yeah, that's called coordination, hand-eye, by the way. So that's what it's called.
Well, I skateboarded. I had feet-eye coordination, not hand-eye coordination. I never practiced that growing up.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, thank you, Morpheus, for the $5 basketball to the face. Morpheus says, Old Boy, the Korean version is unforgettable. The Fifth Element is a fun sci-fi action. Arrival is great sci-fi. Raid and Raid 2 are great action flicks. Okay, yeah, let's break this down for a second. Old Boy, the Korean version is unforgettable. Okay. Interesting. Zay, have you ever heard of Old Boy before? I know you watch like
No.
sometimes you watch like more the Asians, like Asian cinema, Asian.
Yeah, but I've never heard of Old Boy. Maybe I had. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look and see if I recognize it. I'm usually better visually than I am like remembering just off the top of my head. But okay, interesting. So it's a Korean version specifically.
Okay, The Fifth Element is a fun sci-fi action. I believe I might have seen The Fifth Element. Is that about a guy named
I
Michael who
definitely
gets
haven't seen it.
superpowers or something like that? I think there's a guy named Michael and he gets superpowers, or he's named something and he gets superpowers. I could be wrong, but I think it's that. It was fun if I remember it. I don't remember much from it. Zay, have you seen Arrival?
Does that have Tom? Is that Tom Cruise? Isn't it?
Arrival?
Yeah. I don't know.
No.
Am I thinking of? I'm thinking. Oh, I'm thinking of something. There's different. Is Arrival like an alien movie or what is it like?
Yes, it's an alien movie and it's fantastic. I've seen it.
Oh, it has
But
Jeremy Renner in it.
Arrival is like your eyes are glued to the
Oh,
screen.
I'm so stupid. I've never seen this, but okay, I was mistaking time. Yeah, I know of this movie. Like yeah, so I've heard of Arrival and I know of this movie. I was mistaking Jeremy Renner because once I saw Amy Adams was in it as well. Okay, interesting. And The Fifth Element, oh man, I just had the cast list on because The Fifth Element had an interesting cast. It has Chris Tucker, Bruce Willis is in it, Gary Oldman, and Mila Jovovich.
Okay.
That's how you say it.
Okay.
So.
Does it look like a superhero type of thing or something like that?
It's there is some sort of, I think, super power things involved to it. I didn't want to read too much about the description, but yeah, I don't think that it's what you were thinking of with Michael.
Okay. I could be wrong.
I don't think there was a character named Michael.
Well, and then lastly, he says Raid and Raid 2 are great action flicks. I have heard so much about Raid and Raid 2, and I really, really want to watch these movies just because they have been brought up so much in terms of like the best martial arts, I believe. Or maybe I'm thinking
Really?
The Raid. I don't know if that's the same thing as what he's talking about here. But I imagine they are. But yeah, I do want to get into those really, really, really bad at some point.
Yeah, I've never even heard of these, so I just was kind of looking at who the cast was and stuff. I've never even seen anything, or not even really aware of any of those. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much, Morpheus, for the suggestions, and thank you so much for the $5 basketball to the face. We'll have to look into those. Next up, we've got a $20 fish hook to the mouth.
oh
yeah, they caught us. They put a $20 bill in and they got 2-for-1 special.
You're making us sound like money grubbers. Like, look at them. They were hunting down the 20. We're like, there it is. Get it.
Thank you, James Jackson, for the $20. Another patron of ours. James says, if anyone is not signed up for Patreon, you should simply, for the Dear Zachary reaction, probably the most amazing reaction I've seen from anybody on YouTube. Your outrage and tears were palpable. Yes, we did a Patreon exclusive live watch along to Dear Zachary. You will need your own copy to watch along with us if you check it out. But it was a brutal, brutal, brutal documentary. We were full of anger and sadness, and yeah, we both cried. And we both were just fueling with rage. But it was a very great documentary.
Absolute blast. It was an absolute blast. I mean, blast in like the best way it could be a blast. I mean, it's enthralling and like encapsulating the story and stuff. Just in general, it's insane. I mean, obviously, I don't want to spoil anything. If anyone hasn't seen it, I don't want to get into too much detail. But if you haven't seen it, even if you don't go to Patreon and watch it with us, do yourself the justice of watching yourself. It is. Wow. I mean, that true stuff like that is always something that I enjoy watching, but it's also like, it's like you want to watch it, but then you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I don't want to, like,
it makes you like, just, it puts you in that weird mood for a couple of days after,
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you're just like, you just like looking at people differently, you know? It does that
yeah.
weird thing to you. But hey James, thank you for shouting out to our Patreon and letting everybody else know about it. That means so much. You put in $20 to let people know. Thank you so much. Well, we're glad you enjoyed, and we're glad it was one of the best reactions that you have seen from anybody on YouTube. We are planning on doing a live watch along again soon. We are gonna probably start another poll on Patreon for the next live watch along. I think we're gonna put Paradise Lost on there because that one was brought up a few times on Patreon. So we'll put that
Yep.
on the poll, and we'll see what happens going forward. I personally, something that probably nobody else is interested in, I personally would love to do a nature documentary at some point. I want to watch animals with Zay because I know we could probably come up with tear
Oh, we
like
want to watch it so bad.
we would be crying from tears if we just hit that pot of gold. Just that one scene, that one moment.
I would pay someone a lot of money to remove the memory of watching that lizard run away from those snakes
Bro.
and get to watch that live with you guys for the first time.
I would
Oh
be
my
dying.
goodness.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
one of the best clips I've ever seen. Oh
yeah,
man.
that would be great. But okay. Thank you, James, again. Thank you so much for the $20 fish hook to the cheek. It really does mean a lot. And if you're wondering, yes, that J is what gave me the idea. Okay. All right. It really does mean a lot for the support. Thank you for being a supporter on Patreon, and thank you for the $20 here. Next up, we've got TLJ Screwjob. How you doing, TLJ? Big supporter of ours. Thank you so much for stopping by. TLJ with a Zay, what does he got? What we got here? $10 what?
A
What
$10?
are we looking at?
Oh man. I mean $10 just oh man, you don't want this imagery. Just something like straight out of Saw, man. Just tied down in a chair, just peeled off one of our toenails. Just $10.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa!
listen. You don't want me. Listen, keep asking me for them. They're just gonna keep getting worse and worse.
Ew. Okay. Well, thank you for that one, Zay and
I don't know if I'd
TLJ.
thank somebody about that one.
I was gonna think because like, now I'm thinking like Saw, Screwjob could have done something there, but you decided to go straight for the toenail. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. TLJ says recommending The Money Pit and Big, starring Tom Hanks. The Money Pit is a comedy about buying, renovating a house. It's worth it despite that description. Big is comedy about dealing with growing up. I've seen Big. Zay has not seen Big. We will definitely get into Big. Question real quick, and I want to test out the chat here because I don't think we can do a poll on the live stream, but I'm gonna just ask you guys in the chat right now. I could be wrong about Big, but just to see if we can do something like this in the chat here, everybody put down a 1 in the chat if Big is a Christmas movie. Put down a 2 if it's not. I can't remember. Put down a 1 if Big is a Christmas movie. Put down a 2 if Big is not a Christmas movie. If it is, we'll do it in December, but or we'll potentially do it in December. Okay, so we're getting a couple 2s here. So maybe it's not. Maybe I thought it was. Yeah, okay. I thought it was like snowing or maybe it was just snowing and because it involves New York City, Zay. Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Definitely not a Christmas movie. So maybe something we can do in November. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
Like it's not.
Yeah, there was like two. All right, great. Good to know. Well, good to know you guys are ready to respond. Just in case we have another question like that, we can do like a whole 1, 2. Matthew says 6. Okay, thanks, Matt. Anyways, but yeah, okay. Big is not a Christmas movie. I thought maybe I was just thinking about a different movie, but okay. I have seen Big though. Great movie. Zay, we'll do that at some point soon. Maybe we do that in November. Oh, and Money Pit. Zay, have you seen Money Pit?
No. I have seen it suggested a few times, but no, I don't really. I've never actually seen Money Pit. I don't really know what it's about.
Well, he says it's about
buying and renovating a house. So
I haven't seen it.
That's an interesting premise, though.
Yeah, if it's anything like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I'm sure you and I would be dying at like a man's attempt at like renovating or like just building his house or something.
Funny.
So that's a really good one to look into there. All right. Well, thank you, TLJ, for the $10 toenail rip. That was brutal, but thank you. Super Slav with the $4.99. I'm gonna take this one away so you don't get too crazy there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, for sure.
Super Slob with the $4.99 spider venom injection into the leg. Not enough to kill you, but enough to make you appreciate life. Thank you, Super Slab, for that spider venom injection to the leg. $4.99 says, I think y'all would like Old School. Thanks for the great reactions. Well, thank you. Glad you enjoy our reactions. Zay, have you seen Old School? I've seen Old School. Have you seen Old School? Okay. There's
No.
one scene in Old School, or maybe I'm thinking of Kicking It Old School. I've seen the one with Will Ferrell. That's the one I'm thinking about. And there's a scene, I won't tell you what it is, but if anybody in the chat has seen the movie, Zay, does Old School have Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Will
Yeah,
Ferrell,
yeah, yeah.
Luke Wilson, and Vince Vaughn. That's a
Yeah.
great cast. Holy
Oh
shit.
my gosh, the movie's hilarious. There's this one scene, I won't tell you what it is, but if anybody knows the roof scene where they're on the roof, oh my Lord have mercy. That's all I'll say.
Roof like dog barking, like roof, roof, roof.
No, not like a dog barking. Yeah. That one's pretty. That seems wild. But thank you, Super Slob, for the $4.99. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, that'll be one that will be great to do. I know that Zay also hasn't seen the other guys, so maybe we do like a back-to-back little Will Ferrell thing. With Zay.
I would love to do the other guys.
Yeah.
Really badly.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. We'll have to get to that at some point. All right. Well, thank you, Super Slop. $4.99. All right, let's spend some time here in the live chat. We haven't been here in a little bit.
I got a couple. Just to real quick.
Sure. Give me the time.
10:07. Kal-El Can Fly said, "Do you plan to continue the Rocky series?" I think we want to continue that eventually. I don't know how high. We can't really tell how high on the list it is, but we do plan, I think, on continuing the Rocky series. I mean, we had a blast the first one. So
yeah. Hey,
I'd like to get into Creed and everything as well, which I think we'd have to really get through all that first.
Yeah, we might be able to pick it back up in sequel month. We might be able to do Rocky 2, you know?
And then Hello Kitty at 10:14. You guys should watch the rest of Rush Hour or even do a John Wick or even a John Wick. Well, we have done a John Wick.
Well, these are perfect. These are all perfect for sequel month. We could do John Wick 2, Rush Hour 2, Rocky 2. Great suggestions. Definitely ones that we are considering because everybody likes those.
Yeah. And Rush Hour is hilarious, obviously. I mean, it's such a good film. And Rocky was dope too.
Zay, is there anything else you noticed you want me to pull up before I throw up some more?
Just more me copying down some. If I find one, I will stop by. There's been a few suggestions of ones that like either we've seen like offline, like not recorded stuff. So other than that, I'm just trying to make sure I get everyone's suggestion. Have you seen Cool Runnings? Actually, I've seen that suggested a couple times for sports.
I haven't seen Cool Runnings. I think it's about a bobsled.
It is a Jamaican bobsled team. Yeah, that's a very interesting movie. I remember watching that a very long time ago. So that'd be an interesting sports film. Kind of get in there. I am keeping the genre. Oh yeah, guys, feel free to put the genres down because I kind of keep track of the genres. That way, when Cam and I are looking at what we want to react to, we have an idea of what we're been posting and everything. So feel free to add those in there.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you, Hello Kitty, for that suggestion. And so I want to bring this up for sure. Zay, have you seen Death at a Funeral?
No.
Oh,
heard of that. I've never
my
heard of that.
gosh, Zay, it is freaking hilarious. Fun little fact, guys. Death at a Funeral was one of the movies I believe that I owned on my iPad, like growing up as a kid. And I played that movie like before I went to bed, like so many freaking times. I've probably maybe not seen the movie in its entirety. I've probably seen the movie in its entirety like at least 8 or 9 times. But like I've played this movie in the background or, you know, as I was going to sleep, probably like 50, 60 times. This movie is absolutely hilarious. It's got Kevin Hart, I believe, is in it. James Marsden is in it. And it's if I remember correctly, it's about this black family that is having a funeral, and it's just like hilarity ensues throughout the situation, the whole thing.
Okay.
Great suggestion. I'm so happy you actually haven't seen this because I loved this movie.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And I think did we just get a couple super chat? Or did we get another super
Oh,
chat? So I'll
yep.
make sure so I can copy down some other comments to jump back to after.
Yep.
Let's hop in
We've
the super
got
chat.
a $20 just uppercut to the chin. That's what we got there. A $20 uppercut. Bing bango bongo. Right to the chin. JG with the $20. Hey JG, how you doing? JG's a supporter of ours. Thank you so much for being here. He says, since you did Galaxy Quest, you should get into Star Trek. I recommend Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. It's a beloved classic. Don't bother with Star Trek 1, the motion picture. No one really likes it. Interesting.
Okay. It's always
Yeah.
interesting when someone says to skip installment of franchise. It's more interesting when there's an overall agreement though. Like with
Yes.
Exorcist 2, where everyone's like, yeah, seriously, don't. Like, just don't even bother. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I've heard the words Wrath of Khan before. I don't believe I've ever seen any Star Trek movie in its entirety other than the remakes. I've seen, I think 1 and 2 of the remakes with like Chris Pine in them. And they were fun, but they weren't like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, pretty forgettable, but I've heard the remakes are nothing like the classics are what everybody rants and raves about. Have you heard of Wrath of Khan before? I've heard the words.
I've heard of
Khan.
Wrath of Khan. Yeah, I've heard of Wrath of Khan, but again, like, you know, I've never seen any Star Trek. I was always a Star Wars person, so don't hate me. Don't hate me. I'm open-minded to both. I'm open-minded both. Don't ask me what one's better though if we react to these, because I'm not getting into that argument.
I will say we had a philosophy professor, at least I did in the high school that we went to, Zay, and he loved Star Trek, obsessed with Star Trek.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Okay, yeah, I know. Who you're
he had Star Trek like figures and everything. And he would play Star Trek scenes and all this stuff. So I guess Star Trek maybe has something to do with philosophy. Like there's like deeper meanings and stuff. I hear people talk about like it covers a lot of themes. So I'd be interested in getting into Star Trek. Galaxy Quest was really fun. But yeah, all right. Thank you, JG, for the $20 uppercut to the chin. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support and the continuing support. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Knox a Spade with a Canada 5. Zay, what do we got?
What do we get you this one?
What are we looking at here?
Oh man, this could be a pain point for Cameron. We were just driving down the road, a pothole, and we got a flat tire, $5 flat tire. Cam, you had a little bit of experience.
I got a flat tire on Friday the 13th, guys. It was a horrible experience. It was just ugh. So thank you for bringing that trauma back. Yes. Okay. Knox of Spades. Thank you for the Canada 5. She says, sorry, last questions. Never need to apologize. Ha ha ha. What improvements you made over the years you're most proud of? What do you appreciate the most about the other person? Okay, this should be fun.
This will be fun.
Let's start with the first one. What improvements have you made over the years that you are most proud of? I think Zay.
Well, do you want to split it up between like Cam and Zay, like our channel, and maybe you could do like if you I don't know.
I think she means on the channel. That's the way I
probably
took it.
Yeah, that's what I would figure.
Okay, on the channel, I would say one of the improvements I'm personally most proud of is I think we're not perfect. And when you're watching a movie for the first time, when you're watching a movie for the first time and you have to provide commentary, it's not easy to anticipate the right moments because sometimes people just start talking right when it gets quiet and you're like, you know, you already start talking everything. I think Zay and I have done a much better job over time at, we're not, again, like I said, we haven't nailed it down to a T yet. Sometimes we may miss something here and there, but I think we've done better at trying to find the right moments to provide the commentary and trying not to like keep it going for too long and having our edits go smoother and things like that. I'm just overall proud of like the quality of our content. I think it's increased over time. I think that's probably um like a general improvement that I'm overall proud of. Zay, what about you?
Yeah, Cameron's always I felt like been more of like very quality focused on the reactions. Not saying I'm not. However, I've always been more focused on like the equipment aspect and like our technical aspects, like, what are we using for cameras, what are we using for microphones, like I was trying to always stay on top, like what are we doing for lights, etc. So I definitely am happy with our improvements over just our quality in the past year, just even with us reacting, obviously Cam said, but also with like our visual quality, because you can go look at our first reaction video. I pulled it up on stream last and I said, look at what we were recording with. Like we looked atrocious. And just, yeah, I think just our consistency with posting as well and everything just being, more in tune with the channel and everyone's suggestions overall. When we first started, we were doing Game of Thrones because that's where I'd never seen it. So we're like, let's just bang this out. And then over time, we were able to start getting your guys' suggestions in, apply them, and expand from there. So
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Next question. What do you appreciate the most about the other person? I think Zay has a really good taste in friends.
stop.
He knows how to pick the right friend.
Oh, stop. You mother. You bitch.
No, I'm
You
kidding.
bitch.
That's a cop out. What do I appreciate the most about Zay? There's so many.
I got
I
one
want
for
to
Cam.
clarify. I want to clarify.
There's so many. Sure.
It's taking
Go
me a second
ahead.
because there's so many.
List
Zay,
5.
Zay. One of the great things about Zay is he is not one like he doesn't complain or ponder anything if there's an issue. He goes immediately into fixing
Oh.
it. Like if I'm like, hey, I think my Wi-Fi's off or I think something's here, he immediately goes into fixing it. He doesn't question it, doesn't anything like that. If I bring up something like, hey, I think there's some feedback here about our comments, he's like, all right, let's fix that. Let's change that. Like he's extremely open to criticism and it does a very good job at turning things around so that previous problems don't ever happen again. So he's really good at improving on himself. Better than I am, which is something that I would say I appreciate. One of the things I appreciate them, it makes him an extremely it makes him extremely like good to work with. Somebody really good to work with is somebody that knows he's very self-aware and knows, okay, this is what I need to improve on and actually does it. So that's what I would
Yeah,
have.
because Cam used to have to pull me and be like, all right, listen. He like when we first started, he's like, I know you've never really been in front of a camera, but like let's like when you're doing this, try to do this, etc. Try to engage. Like, so I always try to be open. Obviously, Cameron has more experience with this stuff than I did. I will say probably the biggest thing that I appreciate about Cameron, and I think that it's something I've taken a note of and tried to instill myself, is Cameron's integrity is the highest out of anyone I know. Dude's honest. He wants to be as, if we're going to do something, it's always do it right. Never do it half-assed, never try to squeak around, never try. It's like, we always try to do everything. And that's a lot of it comes from him. It's a lot of him bringing it up to me, asking, well, and if I'm like, well, maybe we could do this. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to X, Y, Z. And I don't want to worry about this as that. Okay, fine. You know what? And so I've trusted him on that because I trust his moral compass. And it hasn't let us wrong. It hasn't let us anywhere astray. So I think that's why Cam and I get and can work together really well. I'm receptive and I try to apply it, and I'm taking notes from him. And he's very forward focused on how can we improve. And he even takes notes from me on just certain areas. So it's a partnership is what it really is. Not like that. Friendly partnership.
First of all, I will say not like that. First of all, I will say thank you, and then this is what I'll piggyback on top of that with. I genuinely to be vulnerable and open here. I was scared of Zay and I actually. We've been friends our whole life. We've never been into a situation where we're making money together. This is a real legit business thing, and a lot of the times when things like this happen, people have conflict of interest or people tension builds. But one thing that was one thing I was worried about, but that is something that I've been so pleasantly surprised by is how well we actually work together and come up with a plan and agree on things, there's very little, if any, disagreements on anything that we do, and we're both open to hearing the other person out, which it was a genuine concern of mine, like, what happens if we butt heads to a point where we both won't give? And
Yeah.
it hasn't even remotely gotten even close to that. So
Cam and I can get in an argument and hop off the phone and then be texting each other. Like it's we have a very unique relationship where it's like we don't really we never hold we can get into disagreements. We never hold it against each other though. We understand, you know, whatever. It's usually over some stupid shit anyway that him and I are either busting each other's balls about or whatever the case is. So
yeah. So all right. Well, thank you, Knox of Spades, for the $5.
I hate my Wi-Fi. Oh, sorry. I'm back.
You're back. Thank
Hello.
you, Knox of Spades, for the $5 Canada super chat. Next
Knox did
up-
say, real quick, sorry, we can address it after. If we wanted to share a personal life one as well, they're like, as long as you're comfortable, was like that thing.
I will say that I think not to get too personal, like into my how my life is outside of this, but I will say that I've done a great job at keeping myself more busy. I have a very, very bad issue of when I have free time, my mind wanders more than it should. And I've been doing a great job at keeping myself occupied, almost too much, to the point where I'm like, okay, now there's too much on my plate. But I am proud of that. It's that kind of long-term fulfillment. It's one of those things where it's like, if you eat candy, you're happy in the moment, but if you read a book, you feel fulfilled. It's a different kind of happiness, you know? So staying busy as I am, it's giving me more like fulfillment. What about you, Zay?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, developments in my personal life, probably. I mean, one was definitely time management because before, again, I would just like burn time. I was never busy enough. So, like, kind of like Cam said, I was always just kind of burning time, doing shit on my phone, sit on TikTok for hours, whatever. And being more proactive at my day-to-day job, my 9 to 5. I now like run multiple projects at my job. I'm hopefully looking at a promotion, fingers crossed. So we'll see. But I've been making improvements towards that, try kind of stride towards self-improvement in that sense in the workspace. So, you know, it all around benefits my whole life in general, especially with the YouTube channel.
All right. Well, there you go. And thank you, Knox Space. You've always got some crazy good questions there. Alan Mitchell wanted to say you guys do a great job not stepping on important dialogue. Well, we really appreciate that. That's something that we are really trying hard to do, but it is more difficult than it seems because you think you're like, okay, now they're quiet, now like the big important parts out of the way, now let's talk, and then they're like, and then this happened in the middle of us talking, we're like, oh shit, what did they say? You know, like sometimes like it might be like that.
There's
But
like the two pain points for us are when there's that silence like Cam's talking about, that like all of a sudden they jump back and like shit, or when there's like a really, really long monologue and it's like super intense. And it's like, well, we don't want to talk during it, but it's like, you know, you kind of want to give some sort of commentary, like, holy, because sometimes there's just like scenes that last and last and last, and the tension's so high. So it's like bounces back and forth between those two are like the pain points of providing dialogue and not, you know, stepping on anything or missing anything.
yeah, it's still a work in progress, but thank you for the feedback. All right. Bob S with a $5 electrical shock. Little electrical shock, not a dangerous one, but
Just tiny one.
a tiny one. Thank you, Bob S, for the $5 electrical shock. Bob S says you should watch Star Trek TOS episode Space Seed before watching Wrath of Khan, as it's kind of a prequel to the movie. Would be a good intro to Star Trek, I think is what he's trying to say. Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. I will say, you know what is interesting about this is that somebody did mention we should do like a top 10 episode reaction, like top 10 episode of a series. And it'd be hard to kind of do that to certain series because like then you kind of spoil the rest of the series. But I feel like Star Trek might be a good show to where like you guys could be like, would you be interested in us doing like 20 Star Trek episode reactions? Not 20 in a row or anything like that, but like 20 random episodes that everybody like
The
votes on
best
the best one.
episodes or what? Yeah.
So that would be interesting. Maybe TOS makes it on there, Space Seed. But it is interesting to know to watch that before Wrath of Khan. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be very interesting. I'm sure we'd get some flack from people saying like, "Oh, just do the whole series." But again, you know, if that's what you guys want us to do, and you know, we're able to make it work, if we obviously we discussed outside of this, I would be down. I think that'd be a cool idea to be able to hit like just the major episodes and stuff that people want.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Bob S, for the $5 electrical shock. You have been showing support over and over again. It's much appreciated. Thank you, Bob. Let's jump back here into the
I got a
live.
couple for you.
Okay.
Oh, we can start with that one first that you just pulled up.
Yeah, Sasa mentioned fan favorite TV show episodes would be fun if they don't have continuity. Yeah, so that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Zay. Let me have it. Give
so
me the time first.
Sasami-chan again at 10:34. I want to see more people dive into the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s era films. Well, just drop some suggestions down there for us. I mean, if there's any that stick out in your mind in regards to that time period, those time periods of films, obviously we're very, very open-minded to that.
Yeah, I mean, our next reaction on YouTube will be a 60s film, Night of the Living
Yes.
Dead by George Romero.
Yes.
So there you
Yes.
go. There's one for you right there.
Let's see. Akuma, you don't have to pull this one up. Akuma Luton just said One Piece. Akuma, we would be reacting for the next 16 years because One Piece is 1,000 episodes. Hello Kitty at 10:29. For April Fools, you guys should make a short film and then make a reaction to your own short, like it's a new movie you guys have never heard of. That would actually be kind of funny to make a short film and then pretend to react like we've never seen it.
Should
Or have the girls react.
Ooh, that would be interesting. You know what? But it wouldn't be an April Fool's. It would just be like a legit, like, hey, what'd you think of this?
Yeah,
you know, like, should we tell them what like we thought about as an April Fool's idea? Should we mention that?
Why? I mean, yeah, why not? Right? I mean, I think maybe.
I mean, not everybody who watches our channel is here right now. You know, word's not going to get out like crazy.
Yeah. So why not?
We've thought about it. You guys might be like, no, don't do that. Here's what we thought about April Fools. We thought about recording a reaction to a movie that we haven't seen before. Like let's just say, well, let me think of what's I don't know. It's hard to think of movies you haven't seen before. Let's just go through one of these suggestions, like Casablanca.
Casablanca,
yeah. We would record a reaction to Casablanca, and it would be a genuine reaction. It would be as, you know, like all our other reactions are. But we would put that on the side, and then we would watch Casablanca again and just completely misunderstand everything. Be like,
everything on purpose.
Why are there aliens here? Are they in disguise? Like, basically just completely like piss everybody off for misunderstanding the movie, and then release that reaction first, so people think we ruined our first time watching it with like a misunderstood react. It was this whole elaborate plan, and then
it's so funny.
And then we'd be like April Fools, and then release the actual genuine reaction. It would be a lot of work, though.
It would be a lot of work. It'd be really funny though. So let us know what you guys think. And then one more hello. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah, no. Then another Hello Kitty was at 10:23. You guys should do a bad movie type thing for April Fools, or like April when you watch things like The Room or Llamageddon is one. Wait, what? There's a movie. You're telling me Velocipaster and Llamageddon are two films that exist in this dimension, and we have an opportunity to watch them both?
Llamageddon. That one sounds more fun than Velocipaster. I'll say that much.
Fine. And then okay. And then I don't have the time set, but Dennis said doing watchables like Cats and Jack and Jill. I heard Cats was terrible. I'm assuming they mean unwatchable, like they're like, and they see how far we can get through them. We would suffer through it. We might have to pause it.
Here's the reason. Yeah, here's the reason why I don't know if we should do Cats, is because I have seen Jack and Jill, and Cats is being suggested by the same guy who is suggesting Jack and Jill. And if Cats is insufferable the same way that Jack and Jill is, then I don't want to do it, even for fun.
Is Jack and Jill have Adam Sandler in it?
Yes, and it's like,
oh
my gosh,
really bad.
It's just, it's like, It's annoying. It's very annoying. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
it's comedy, right? It's supposed to be comedy. It's
yeah,
annoying.
but it's like, ay, please stop this now. Like, okay, how far are we? 5 minutes? Like,
Yeah, no way.
um,
And then the last one, Super Slab at 1022 said, "What are your favorite movie genres?" I mean, I think we've answered this like only once before. I'm more of I like horror and I like comedy is personally for me. Like those are two genres. Although you would think I hate horror the way I'm shriveling in my chair, shivering in it while we're watching it. But I really do like horror films and games and such. What about you, Kim?
I probably, I think that some of the best like cinematic pieces have a huge element of drama to them.
Yeah.
But I think like I think comedies obviously I feel like that's a cop out, but I think thrillers really get me going. I think the
A well done
suspense.
thriller, a well done
Yeah.
thriller. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
like
I'm that might have not have been my answer before, but like I'm just going off the whim here.
well done thriller really gets me.
All right. Okay. All right, Michael.
Shimon.
Okay. He doesn't mean that. All right. um
Any are you okay? Sorry.
all right.
Relax.
All right. Knox of Spades with a Canada $5 snowball up the nostrils. Thank you, Knox of Spade, for the $5 snowball up the nostrils. Canada 5. Knox says, thanks for always giving me great responses to my questions. I appreciate it. I'm glad you two have a great friendship. Have a great night. Well, you have a great night as well. We're glad you enjoy our responses. And we're happy that you're glad that we have a great friendship. We are very happy and grateful for our friendship as well. It's not easy to come by. There's a lot of people that, I think one of the hard things to do is to hold on to a friendship from early on, or even when you move across states or don't live the same place anymore. But if you're able to do it, something special may come from it. So yeah, thank you, Knox.
Thank you.
Anything?
Thank you. No, again, yeah. I mean, you always come with like very, very unique questions, and they're always different. There really hasn't been like any, they're just a variation of each other. So definitely appreciate that because it makes it interesting. It's fun to interact with. And yeah, I mean, Cam and I have one hell of a friendship. It's been this way for a long time. I don't really see anything changing it unless he gets replaced with a reptilian who doesn't know how to act like Cam correctly. What if I I don't know. I don't know. If I mention the fly, you're not going to lick your lips.
Thank you, Knox, for the Canada 5. Hope you have a great night as well.
Yes.
All right. What do we got here?
Richard Johnson at 1037. Have either of you ever rewatched a movie in your mind and in your mind significantly reevaluated your rating? I'll be the first to say, honestly, I haven't rewatched anything that we've reacted to yet. Like full like piece. Like I've watched our reactions, but I've never actually watched a whole film that we've already done. So I would be interested though to go back and maybe watch a few and see if it does influence it, especially ones that maybe I rated lower or higher to kind of see.
Yeah, that's when I'm reviewing the edits and things like that, I like to think, oh, like that was a good movie, that was fun. And for the most part, I really do wholeheartedly agree with the reaction I gave in the moment. But there have been times where like, I think about it for a little bit longer and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have rated it that. Like sometimes when you digest a movie, the rating changes. And I will say that one of the I think the highest rating I've ever gave on this channel, I feel like I would tone it back a little bit. Not as high, not like I wouldn't tone it back a lot. But like, for example, I think I gave Rambo First Blood a 9.8. I think I toned that back to a 9.4 or a 9.5. Not still an incredible rating.
Yeah.
But I think we had so much fun with the movie that really like added to the experience for me. But the movie itself, I probably put it like maybe a 9.4, 9.5. But like, yeah, sometimes I have moments like that where the movie digests for a little bit. But our ratings are meant to be how we feel in that moment, They're meant to be that.
Yeah, it's hard because if you go to rewatch the movie, you don't want to if we go back and watch the movie, and it's like, well, yeah, it's not our first time experiencing a lot of these events. You might remember some parts. So I think it could take away from what your initial like feeling is and everything. Like Cam said, that's like our in the moment feeling with it. Maybe if I went back and watched the movie like a couple years, like I think I'd have to give it some time. I'd have to let it breathe and like maybe like let myself be like, let me try to re-experience this again. But even then, I mean, I still don't know how effective that would be, but I do agree with Cam in that sentiment. There's some films where I think I've rated them higher or lower, and I'm like it deserved more, like, or that, could have brought that back down, but yeah,
All
we can do
right.
now.
Well, there you go. And Richard says, thank you for answering my question. You guys give fantastic reviews, and it's the highlight of the week when you release a new one. Well, that means a lot. That's one of the things that kind of blows my mind is whenever I, hit publish, it always is like, people flock to it. Like that's like when I hit publish and then I see 100 views in like 5 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever, I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, that's so trippy to think about. Like, I just posted this, like we just published this, and it's like the 100 people will just flock. Like, it's a weird concept to think about, because they're like,
it is.
It's almost like if like, you put like candy in a store and then everybody comes in for the candy right away. It's like a weird, I don't know. It's hard to like fathom.
Like, even like a comment like what Richard just said, it's like, it's a highlight of my week when you release a new one. Like, there's people that are like waiting for us to like, oh, I wonder when, because coming from, an era of kids that grew up basically, I mean, I grew up basically watching YouTube. I watched YouTube when I was watching TV. When YouTube finally started like getting a lot of steam and stuff, I stopped really watching cable. And it was like, I remember sitting there and being like, oh, I can't wait for, I mean, geez, I can't wait for like Vanoss is like someone that I used to watch. I know Cam used to watch a little bit of Vanoss, like, those type of creators, like, oh, I can't wait till I mean, even now, like, oh, Ludwig posted a video. Oh, Charlie posted a video. Like, so it's weird to be in that seat. It's like, oh, there's people like waiting for us to post and excited that we are posting. It's a very surreal experience. I mean, really hard to like put into words or to sum up for you guys, but it's nuts.
Yeah. Kal-El mentions there's a bit of adrenaline rush when you see those views go up and people enjoy your work. Yeah, it just feels good. I mean, it's like if you're at an art gallery and you put up, a picture you drew, and then everybody flocks to go just see the picture. It's like, even if you don't know if they're gonna like it or not, just the fact that there's people that are in. I grew up, playing ringtones on my parents' phone and like dancing in front of them. Just like there's something about that, like, I don't want to come off as like I'm seeking attention, but in a way, it feels good. It feels good that people want to see what we have to release,
I have to embarrass myself now because you mentioned that, because I used to have full on. All right. On a Saturday night, I'm a young kid. Listen, we're in our apartment. There's not much to do. I wasn't playing a lot of games at the time. Maybe sometimes, once in a while, I went and put on a dance performance, and my stepdad would flick the lights on and off, and I would sign fake autographs for my mom and her friends. And listen, I always liked, I mean, it is weird. I want to say like I was an attention seeker, but it's like I enjoy being in like a spotlight, but
like
I'm
a
also
performer.
not. Yeah, because I think that it's super, super cool. Dude, I mean, I went to that concert this past Saturday. I'm like looking at like they're showing a view of like the artist, like looking out the crowd with all these phone lights. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, how sick is that to be in that seat? I mean, we're in a seat kind of like that right now. Like, we have all you guys that support us, and it's like weird. It just feels weird, but I love it. And it's just awesome.
All right. Michael T with a $4.99 energy blast to the pinky. Thank you, Michael T, with a $4.99 energy blast to the pinky. Michael T just want to say hi to you guys. Hope you're having a great night. Well, hi, Mike T. Hope you're having a great night too. Thank you for the support. You just wanted to say hi. Just put a $4.99 just to say hi and ask if hope we're having a great night.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that really means a lot. He's one of Zay's Twitch followers, so
we love Mike. Mike's a good guy. Great guy.
Yeah, glad to see you here, Mike. Thanks so much. James Jackson with a $10 telekinetic blast through the
meniscus
ankle.
Torn right off.
Okay, there you go. Telekinetic torn meniscus. Thank you, James Jackson, for the teleconnected torn meniscus. James Jackson says, for comedies, I would love to see Dirty Work, which was directed by Bob Saget and has Norm Macdonald, Chris Farley, Chevy Chase, and Don Rickles. I also would love to
Wow.
see Undercover Brother. Sounds like a crazy cast lineup there. That would be awesome.
Wow.
I love Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace.
Dude, yeah, I actually need to see more like work of Norm Macdonald because I'm not as familiar with his work as I feel like I should be, but I'm well aware that he was a legend. So I would love to definitely get into something like that. Especially that cast is is insane just as well. Directed by Bob Saget and yeah, Norm Macdonald, Chris Farley. Shout out Chris Farley, rest in peace. Also,
Chevy Chase is in it.
SNL legend Chris Farley was, and yeah, Chevy Chase and Don Rickles. Like, holy cow! Some of these movie casts, it's insane. Now that I'm more familiar with work from some of these actors and stuff, it's insane when you look at, like, wow, they got all these people together like for this film, and it's usually great.
Yeah. And he also suggests Undercover Brother, which, okay, don't know anything about that. But Zay, have you seen an Undercover Brother? Do you know anything about it?
No, I feel like it sounds familiar, but again, it's sometimes there's shows and stuff that have similar names, so I don't want to say I definitely have heard of it, but it kind of sounds familiar.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, James Jackson. Thank you for the continued support, man. It really does mean a whole bunch. You you know, it just it means a lot. Thank you, man. Um, so thanks again for the $10 telekinetic meniscus tear.
Hair. Yeah.
All right, JG with a $2 super chat. JG wants to second James's your Undercover Brother suggestion. So okay, we got a second Undercover Brother
All right.
suggestion with a $2 uh ping pong ball to the back. That's it. That's all that happened.
That sounds hurt.
$2 ping pong spike to the back. Thank you, JG, for the $2 super chat. And okay, he seconds Undercover Brother. Interesting. We'll have to look more into that one. All right, let's see what we got going on. Thanks again, JG.
I got one lined up for us. From
Okay.
Scott Darden, 1051. Hi from Houston, guys. I'd love to see a reaction to Deepwater Horizon. I'm a retired offshore drilling rig electronic technician, the part Mark Wahlberg plays in the movie. So very interesting. Mark Wahlberg's in it. Obviously, we're well aware of who Mark Wahlberg is. Very renowned actor. Have you heard of I've heard of Deepwater Horizon, though.
I've heard of it.
Deepwater Horizon. Oh, it's more recent too. 2016. Okay. Kurt Russell's in it. Kate Hudson's in it. John Malkovich. Wow. Okay. Dylan O'Brien's in it as well. Wow. Okay. This cast is actually pretty crazy. Trace Adkins. Okay. I did put it on the list. So yeah, it looks like. Is this based on real events? I'm curious.
Probably.
Scott, if you could confirm. I feel like it is. I feel like it's supposed to be based on a real event, but I could be wrong. Let us know, guys, if it is. But all right, we'll definitely put it on the list because I'm interested in that. I'm a big fan of Mark Wahlberg.
All right, yeah, he's in the other guys too, so maybe we do back to back with Deepwater. But okay, great, and it'll be interesting to see that and like recall like, oh, we had that guy Scott that was that did this person's part and or like had the same job, so it'd be cool to like kind of get insight to that. So, all right, thank you, Scott. Jeremy says, yeah, I get frustrated and impatient when waiting for your next reaction. It's funny, no other channel does that to me. You guys are so fun to watch, and your reactions just make me laugh. So thanks. Listen, I can feel it. There might be times where like, Zay's obviously really busy with his job, and like, I'm in my last semester at college. I'm about to finish up, and like I might have an exam one day, and I'm like, I'm just sorry, I have to focus on my exam. That's what I need to prioritize. And when I do that, I feel like when I'm studying for the exam or whatever, I can feel people, just waiting, like there's like the impatience. Like I can feel like I know people are like would really want a reaction right now. And like if I had just spent today getting one finishing up, they would have gotten it. But it's all about priorities. So thank you so much for hanging in there and not getting too impatient.
Trust me, there's plenty of nights where Cam and I are like, "Hey, we'll record," and then Cam's like, "Look, I really want to get these reactions up. Like, I got to get these posted." And it's like, "All right, absolutely. I'll never complain about that. About us getting posts up for you guys to watch." So
Yeah, and I'm always super excited. Like when I'm reviewing the edit, like making sure everything's good. I'm like, okay, yep. Like, making small adjustments here or there, and then it's the time where I start to upload, where I'm like, ooh, like now I'm excited because now we get to like, obviously this one will go on Patreon. We get to release the next one on YouTube, and it's like that's the moment that like I get the most excited, where I'm like, all right, come on. Like the uploading time is just counting down. I'm like, once this hits, we get to, make another post and everyone gets to see it, and it'll be great. So yeah, well, we're glad you enjoy so much. Thanks, Jeremy. All right, so you see anything else, or do you want to just kind of go through?
we can kind of just go through. We had another comment about we are planning on watching the Rocky films. We did answer that a little bit ago. Again, it's just finding time. There's a lot of the Rocky films, but because I want to get into Creed like really, really badly. Like that's main like guilty pleasure. That's kind of reason why I want to watch the Rocky films. Again, no promises when we say like we want to get into these films. We can't guarantee timelines on a lot of these because I mean, we're at, if you guys want to put in perspective, I'm at 679 suggestions on this Google Sheet. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. There's only 24 hours in a day.
I mean, we've been doing this for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and are we at a little bit over 200 videos, or not even at 200 videos yet? And we have like 600 something suggestions.
Yeah, it's like it's absurd. It's absurd. It's unbelievable. 184 videos.
Okay, so
we're working on it, guys. I promise.
So there you go. But it means we've got unlimited content, or at least a lot to get through. Yeah. So they're saying that it's based on true events.
Okay.
Scott says, my son was one of the first boats to pick up survivors. British Petroleum was charged with manslaughter, but charges were dropped. Okay, wow. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's about the BP spill.
And that's interesting that Scott was a technician, and then his son ended up having to be someone on the boats rescuing people.
Yeah.
Post that. That's crazy. Wow.
Captain Caveman says, put them all in a bucket for a random movie night. I both simultaneously hate and love that idea.
I know. Because I'll just write Velocipaster on every slip. Or eat a Llamageddon.
I love the idea because it's a gamble, like it's really fun. You never know what's going to come out type of situation. But I hate the idea because it implies one of us has to print 670 something like pieces of paper to put in a bucket.
I'll tell you how we do it. I would copy this column right here. I'd put it in the wheel and I'd let the wheel spin. I'm going to do a test run. Let's see what it would have given us.
All right, we're going to do a test wheel spin with all 679 suggestions.
The wheel will let me get that many.
Or however many we can put on there. Tell me how many we put on there. But doesn't mean we're going to do this one right away or anything. But it's a test run to see how the idea would work. So while he does that,
wheel of names froze.
Okay, too many ideas. Not going to work.
It might not work. Hold on. I'm giving. Oh wait. Oh my goodness! It put them all in here.
Oh really?
It looks absurd.
Spin the wheel. Tell me what it lands on. Tell everybody what it lands on.
Picture this wheel. All right, the winner would have been Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll get you that one soon.
Look at that. That was the wheel. All those like little striations.
It looks like a maze.
Yeah, I can't believe it copied them all. All right. I'm gonna save that just in case we ever do that. I don't have to recopy it all.
Got a $9.99. Zay, what do we got? A $9.99 of?
Oh my goodness, a $9.99. I mean, they just did the famous Johnny Cage ding dong right 99 right to our boys down low.
All right, there we go. Jeffrey says Buffy the Vampire Slayer for TV, but it's a commitment, and there's a spinoff, Angel, that you'd start watching eventually too, but top tier TV. I have heard a lot about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, I
I
have as well.
actually might be confident enough to say that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if it's not number 1, it's in the top 5 most suggested, like, TV show reactions we've had. Like,
I would agree with that 100%. I see it a lot in every stream it gets suggested. It was getting suggested before a ton. I had put it on the list already, but yeah, I'm interested in I would be interested into getting into it. Obviously it's about a vampire slayer. I don't really know who's in it per se. I don't know if you
Buffy.
do. Get him out of here.
Yeah, okay. Well, interesting. Yeah, I don't know too many things about it other than I guess it's a vampire slayer, but everybody seems to love it. So thank you, Jeffrey, for the $9.99 suggestions. Top tier TV, interesting and nice to know there's a spinoff. I did not know about that.
I'm not
All right.
either.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention, and thank you for the support. Next up, we have Mike Atticus with a $9.99 coconut bonk to the head, right? Fell from the tree, bonked us on the head there with a $9.99 coconut bonk. He says, "Will you guys watch all of the Rocky movies?" We'd like to. Yeah, we'd like to get to them all. We might pick Rocky back up in sequel month and kind of see where things go from there. The one thing that is kind of difficult for us is that Rocky has what a total of 6 movies, or is it 5 Rocky movies and then 3 Creed movies or
But
whatever?
someone said you have to watch Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4 before Creed. I don't know if there's more Rocky movies than those 4, but it sounds
But
like maybe you don't need to get into. I mean, if there's more than that, then maybe you don't need to see all
we're
of
not
the
against to
genres.
watching all the Rocky movies.
No, 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 no.
The issue is we don't want to have Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky, 5 or Creed 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go out back to back because then we have all these subscribers that want to watch something else that are stuck for like weeks
Of
waiting for
watching
like a
Rocky.
different series or something like that, like so maybe we can intersperse Rocky throughout as we continue on our journey here, but we would more than be happy to get to all of them. So, thank you, Mike. Thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for the $9.99 coconut bonk to the head. The support means a lot. We have TLJ with a 5. Zay, what do we got here? $5 what?
Oh, it's a $5. $5. It's just $5 just came and put us in a rear naked chokehold. So let's read this comment.
TLJ Screwjob coming in with a $5 rear naked chokehold. He says, recently bought Lego Lord of the Rings and got in the mood to listen to your reactions while watching the extended editions through Fellowship. But time. Did he have something else to say after that?
No. TLJ never finished. We'll never know what TLJ wanted to say.
Keep an eye out if he has to say something. We will see if he's picking up anything else from there. But okay, you got the Lord of the Rings Lego and you're listening to our reactions while watching the extended editions. Well, we're glad you are. Fun fact, if anybody doesn't know here, he says the extended editions are long movies, is what I meant. Oh, through Fellowship.
Oh.
But time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that
time,
makes sense.
That makes more sense.
Look, but you can always watch our edited reactions if you were watching our full length. But yeah, hey, look, either way, fun fact, guys, if you don't know this, and this is a fact I can carry to other other realms of like, this is something like I bring up to other people now. Like, I genuinely believe like the most amount of hate I've ever gotten in my entire life about something, like the most amount of hate and just despise, like the most amount of people that disliked me for something and hated on me for something was the Lord of the Rings Return of the King reaction. I have never gotten more hate from anything else in my entire life because I had we won't spoil the movie, but
It was
I
awesome.
had a misunderstanding of kind of exactly what was happening at the end. I thought it was playing out in a different way than it actually was playing out, and so I started bashing on one of the characters because it made me not like that character anymore, and people went to that character's defense like I had never seen before.
It was insanity. It was awesome.
As time went on, we started getting a lot more people that were like, "That was hilarious. It was so
Yeah.
funny. You know, it's okay. Don't mind these other people." But initially, it was a lot of incoming, like a lot of hate.
Oh, it was aggression. They were not happy with it. It was pretty funny though to me.
No, Lord of the Rings fans, they take their shit seriously. So, but yeah, there's a fun fact there. But yeah, okay. Thanks, TLJ. Hope you're enjoying your Lego set there. Thanks for the $5. What was it? The $5.
$5. You just, well, you know what? You get a second one. $5. Just spray a Febreze into my eyes.
Rear
naked chokehold.
Rear naked chokehold. That's right.
I got a. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we still have another super chat. We have another super chat.
We got 2 more to go. Here we go. We've got John W with a $2. You know that like that the gum that you pull and then the mouse trap thing like collapses on your fingers? One of the $2 one of those. He says for TV Forever Night, a 90s series vampire cop.
Interesting. That's a very interesting premise.
And all of a sudden the name makes a whole bunch of sense.
Yeah, Forever Night. Yeah, that man's going nowhere.
You have right to remain.
No, whatever you're about to try to do, you're not. It's not even working. Stop it.
Yes, you have the right to remain.
No.
Garlic. I don't know.
You are the worst.
I tried to think of a good vampire one.
You have the right to remain garlic. You guys can boo him in the comments if you want to. Throw tomatoes at him.
Anything you say and use will be used against you.
Oh my God. You're the worst.
But okay, all right, good to know. Sounds interesting. Thank you, John W, for the $2 super chat. Melissa Disha comes in with the $5 earphone rip out, like rips the earphone out of your ear. Just like, why'd you do that? Inconvenient.
That made me really uncomfortable. I don't like that one.
Thank you, Melissa, for the $5. Melissa says, your alien reaction was hysterical. I'm off to bed, flying in the morning. Good night, guys. Well, you have a good night as well, and safe flight in the morning. And thank you for the kind words. Glad you enjoyed the reaction. Glad you thought it was funny. That movie was quite a ride, and I'll be very, very interested to see how the sequel reaction plays out when we get into that one. All right. Thank you, Melissa, for the $5 super chat. Have a good night. Let's get back here to the live
some
chat.
Sweet dreams. Okay, so let's see. I have one. Let me find that. Where'd it go? All right, I got one from Sesame-chan said at 11:04. The CW superhero crossovers would be fun TV reaction. But you ever see Charlie's video where he talks about the Supergirl CW like the trailer that they ran?
I don't even know if I have the energy to go over my thoughts and feelings on all of that, because I used to be a CW guy. I used to watch. I went to Comic-Con as a CW character. It just Green Arrow had an amazing start. Flash had an amazing start. Legends of Tomorrow was fun, but what? And Supergirl was like, I'm trying to like this, you know? But
oh my gosh.
Hey, look, that could be a fun idea with Zay, because I know you haven't seen like any of that stuff, have you?
No. And then from Josh Mendoza, this was more direct to me. Zay, what's your haircut? I want my barber to cut it just like that. So I get like a high fade on the sides. It's usually like a half to like a 1-ish, I think is what it blends to. I usually don't touch the top. I usually leave it alone. Leave the top however long you want it and just kind of trim it. Like if someone ever like, what do you want to do to top? I'm just like, just clean it up. Like, don't chop a lot of it off. but that's usually what I get, just like a high fade, basically. And it works out pretty well. Fits me. Cam, what do you get for your haircut?
I get like a 1.5 on the side, just fade it up and like scissor cut the top so that it's not too long, but I can still style it. Okay.
There you go.
Next on the list, we've got another $10.
You $10. They fed us Vegemite forcefully.
Ugh. $10 force-fed Vegemite. Thank you, TOJ, for the $10 force-fed Vegemite super chat. He says, only seen the edited reaction, so maybe you correct it later on during the full. How did none of you get the as you wish during Princess Bride, i.e. when Wesley and Buttercup rolled down the hill? You were confused. We've talked about it earlier in this stream. We're not perfect. Sometimes we talk over a certain moment. And if I remember correctly, the Princess Bride was the first of all, it was the first time that we had 4 of us in a reaction.
Yeah,
Not
that
only was it the
tough.
first time we had 4 of us in a reaction, it was the first time that our girlfriends were even ever on a reaction. So for them, it was very hard to know when to talk and when not to talk. And for us, it was hard to also kind of incorporate everything. And the Princess Bride, they did a lot of talking. There was like a lot going on.
A lot.
It was hard to find room to talk at the right moments in the right time. Overall, you know, that's one of those things that we had to realize after the movie was over and everything.
We still realize it to this day because we still get comments about
Yeah.
it to this day. I literally saw one today about it.
Yeah. But hey, look, maybe we should have done a different reaction for our first time, but we don't know. Again, the trick about reactions is if we haven't seen the movie, we don't know what's gonna happen in it. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but yeah, that was something that we missed. And obviously, the only thing we could do now is in hindsight look back and be like, oh, good to know. Good to know, like that's exactly why that happened. But I still had a great experience with the movie. I thought it was really, 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 really fun.
Yeah. It still was a great movie. But it stinks when we realize like, oh man, we missed a major like thing like that. But you know, again, we're not perfect. We try our best. So we appreciate everyone being accepting of that, at least. At the very least.
Well, thank you, TLJ, for the $10
TL.
Super chat. And we hope you enjoyed the reaction either way. But yeah, look, John says, Cam, that was a perfect summary of the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. We've got a $2. It's a no from me. We got a $2. It's a no from me. From John W.
Okay.
He says, for horror, do Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Be ready to puke. Well, why would I want to do that if I'm gonna look, a lot of people are waiting for me to puke in a reaction, and I have a carpet floor. So you bet your ass I'm just gonna look away and try not to think about it before I ever like actually puke. I think the only way I could really puke during a reaction is if it's just so visceral and so out of nowhere, you know? Like if it's like building up to the grossness, I can like look away. I can stop, or I can just think about something else, or just not really let it grasp my mind as hard as it does when I'm really like immersing into it. But if it's visceral out of nowhere and really hits me at the right moment at the right time, and I'm like really like immersed in it or whatnot, it's not impossible. I almost puked during The Fly. I actually felt like I needed a bucket. That's
It's
how close
crazy because in the lifespan of this channel, I actually puked before Cameron did.
Yeah.
While being associated with this channel
Yeah.
during our hot chip during one of our live streams. So yeah, that was but to a film reaction, I can guarantee you I will never throw up to a film reaction or to a film. However, I am patiently waiting for Cameron. I have time.
I think if we like, yeah, I'm not going to go over all the things that could potentially do it.
Oh yeah, no, sure. List them out. I'll take notes.
But yeah, no, like in the past, you know, we've had somebody ask, or I saw a comment that was like mentioning like earlier reactions, like Saving Private Ryan and stuff. And they're like, how come Cam didn't gag at this and Cam gags at this? Well,
Mhm.
because I was very good at just when something is gross is happening, I can just say it's fake, it's not real. I don't need to think about it being gross. And that's
Mhm.
kind of like my default method, my default defense mechanism, growing up and whatnot. But I remember one time during one of our reactions, I like genuinely was like, I turned that off and I just genuinely thought about how gross it actually was. And that's what made me gag. And since everybody is obsessed with me gagging, I'm like, okay, I'll just keep the defense mechanism off. I'll just keep like, immersing myself and
Poor
actually thinking
Cameron.
about the grossness of it, not thinking like some people are like, "Oh, just know it's not real. And you should just know it's fake
Mm,
movie guts." Well, I can do that, but if I do that, then you know I'm separating myself from a potential reaction you guys can get of me actually being grossed out if I immerse in it as if it was, you know, actually happening, which is what I've been doing, and it's absolutely disgusting. Uh,
we'll get him soon, guys. Don't worry. We
uh-huh.
got you.
All right, let's get back into live chat here.
HM Sweet 11 at 1116 said, "Do you ever do music video reactions?" We don't on this channel. I could do it on my Twitch if you're. I mean, I do some reaction stuff on my Twitch, just like YouTube videos and stuff. Usually nothing crazy. So, you can feel free to hop on over there. It's linked down to some of our videos. But we don't do those on the main channel at all.
Yeah, no. Um, but they are an interesting concept. I've always been like,
Oh
huh.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Kal-El says Superman and Lois would be a better watch, much better writing than CW stuff. I agree. I've only seen the first season, or like most. I think I stopped after episode 13 of like the first season, but they were all very, very good. Um, or they were all pretty good. Rodin says, question: what
Mm.
movie are you currently most looking forward to reacting to?
Hmm.
Our
Man.
Veterans Day movie reaction. We can't tell you what it is, but I am
Yeah.
looking forward to that. To give you guys a little hint, um, it's an '80s movie. That's all I'll say. But I am looking forward to that movie.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to showing Shawshank to Zay at some point. Uh, what about you, Zay?
Man, I mean, I would say, oh, I just had it. Where was it? It doesn't mean that it's necessarily coming in the near future, but at some point, I would be looking forward to reacting to Seven.
Yes. Okay.
Which is one Cam and I have discussed, like we discussed a while back, and it kind of comes up periodically. We want to get into it, but again, timing and everything. So that's definitely one I'd be looking forward to getting into, for sure.
After you said Seven, it made me think of No Country for Old Men. That's another one
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Yep.
I'm excited
Um,
to react
yeah,
to
there's a
as
lot,
well.
honestly, like that. I'm really like cannot wait for us to get into. Um, it always stinks when we have like super long ones that we want to get into, like 3.5 hour or 3 hour movies, because those ones are harder for us to squeeze in just with our schedules and everything. But like Braveheart, I was just so excited for us to do. It took us a while to get to it, but we finally had done it. But yeah.
Yeah. Hello Kitty says, whatever happened to your gaming channel? So right now, it was a very our gaming channel was a what's it called? It was a really fun idea that we had, and
Mhm.
it still is in the link in the description of our videos in case like you guys can go over there and subscribe if you want. Obviously, we're not posting any videos over there, but in case it's something we actually want to delve back into, the channel it exists. But we just don't have the time. We just don't have it right
We
now.
just don't.
We're just we're too busy with like work, school, all these other things.
I mean,
And fostering this channel as is, which we're very, very proud of. But it's
yeah.
not the door's not closed on that.
No, when we
So
were getting that gaming stuff done, it was us doing it super late after doing like a reaction, and like our sleep schedule was just destroyed. We'd be up to
yeah.
like 3. We were already staying up late, especially for when we we're doing like either a show premiere or whatever the case was. Like we were already being up so late, and it was just like we couldn't be up 5 days a week till 3:30 in the morning, getting up at 6, 7 o'clock. But yeah, you never know in the near future. So again, we'll keep you guys posted on all that type of stuff. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to get into it, but we'll see.
Yeah, again, like we mentioned before, the branching out would really happen potentially once we're, at a big enough point where we're self-sustainable doing what we're doing.
Mhm.
I will say, this is probably a feeling everybody gets right now, but it's a profound feeling that I've had recently, and I've talked to you about it, Zay, like 1,000 times,
Mhm.
and I brought it up to other people like 1,000 times, and I'm sure I'm late to the party here, or I'm sure everybody has this experience. Everybody talks about it, but I still want to talk about it. Like, to me, it genuinely is profound. It is shocking to me how much my perspective on time has shifted as I gotten older. Like, it's crazy how short a day is now. It is
Yeah.
shocking how short
It
a
used
day
to
is.
feel like it was so long.
It
Like,
did.
felt like we could do anything. Like you're like, I have infinite amount of time. Now I'm like,
Racing against the clock is like
always
always racing. There used to be time where I'm like, when is this, when is it gonna be,
day gonna end?
when is the day gonna be over? Like, now it's like, oh my gosh, please just give me like another 4 hours of the day. Like, there's not enough time here. And it's just a weird, profound, like, it's such a weird shift.
Dude, I get to the gym. I get to the gym at like 3:30. I'm like, all right, cool. I have an hour and a half to work out before I go to my second job. And I'll like do like 3 things and look down, like, okay, it's almost 5 o'clock. So I have to rush because now I'm almost out of time. Like it
Yeah.
really, and then it's like, okay, I'm at work. I'm like, Cam and I'll probably be recording tonight. And it's like, wow, 7:30 hit really quickly. Okay, I got it. Like, or 8 o'clock hit really quickly. Like I need to wrap things up. And last thing to touch on the gaming channel, if you are interested to see Cam and I game together, feel free to stop by the Twitch. I have them over there. I'm also
There
playing
you
horror
go.
games for the rest of the month as well. So if you were like, let's see more horror content, well, not only getting on the channel, you get on my Twitch. I spent Friday nights typically, like 9:30-ish Eastern time.
There you go. Okay, all right. Next up on the list, we have Ronan, who says, "I personally really appreciate your post-movie analysis. You both are usually on point and get the subtle
And nuances,
and
yeah.
nuances of a film." Well, thank you so much. We're not professionals in any sense of the word in terms of education in that area. We are reviewing movies based off of the knowledge we have of film and based off of our subjective experience. I think
Yeah.
one of the things that we can talk about for a little bit here, I'm sure some people would be interested in talk about it. I've wanted to title a stream this, but we'll just talk about it now. Let's talk about our rating system. That's what I want to call it.
Yes. Let's talk about our rating system.
There's a lot of dispute in our comments about our rating system and exactly how people perceive it and how it could be wrong. Or look, first of all, let's get this out of the bat. Our rating system is our rating system. It's not what we're saying is an objective rating system.
It's not your
saying,
rating system. It's not anyone else's rating system. It's just our subjective rating system that we agreed on before we started doing like hey, how should we do it? So yeah, continue, Cam.
And people like to say, like, I think the biggest dispute people have with our rating system is that we tell people we can't give out a 10 or a 0 because we're saying that's the best. If we give out a 10, it's the best thing. And you can, like, there's nothing better than that, and it's impossible to say. If you give out a 0, then there's nothing worse than it, and it's impossible to say. People are like, well, if you give out a 10, you can give multiple movies a 10. It could be better than, like, they could all be 10s, and you could have 0s. You could have, there could be a bunch of 0s, like, and they give examples. And it's like, don't get me wrong, those could be 10s for you, and they could be 0s for you. But for us, we simply perceive it as 10 being every single thing is perfect down to the last millisecond, down to the last atom. And a 0 is saying everything is absolutely horrible down to the last millisecond, down to the last atom. And at the end of the day, there will always be something that you like about a movie, and there will always be something that you don't like about a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So for us personally, that's why we don't give out a 10 or a 0. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean somebody else's 10s or 0s are invalid. No, because their 10s don't subject their rating to the same criteria as we do. So that's fine.
And the favorite argument that people like to make is, well, then if you can only give it this, then technically, like, you would just whittle down your things, because if you can't give it a 10, but what if you can only give it a 9? If you then that means you can't have a 9, because then that means that's the top one. Then you got to give it a 8. First off, we could go 9.999990, and then there could be a movie that's like 999999999. Like, it doesn't, like,
that's the whole point of the decimal point, is that it gives a literal infinite range between 0 and 10.
10 and 0 are two. They give 5s and 0s and stuff in competitions because they have to have a like, they have to be able to, like, there's just a point where, just give it a perfect score. But it's not perfect. Even the best chef in the world can make a dish and be like, well, that was a little salty to my taste. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Every film we watch, we find nuance, we find things that we don't like, that we think they could have been done better, and we find redeeming qualities in some of films that we don't rate as high. I think that's always a possibility. So it makes it impossible for us to give those, unreachable standards.
Yeah. But of course, Captain Caveman says, Spinal Tap says push it up to 11. Yeah, but if you have the 11, wouldn't that mean that the 11 is just the, you know what? Well, not
why not just turn up the. No, I don't. You know what? Don't touch my guitar. You don't touch it.
This is actually my exact okay, I fucking I love that.
That was a great one. That was a good one with the Spinal Tap. I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, and he also says A through F and S top tier is nice sometimes. I feel like generally when people are giving a rating out of 10, I feel like generally they actually are doing a tier list, where when they give a bunch of movies a 10, they're saying it's at the top tier.
Yeah.
That's not how we're doing ours, but
we're doing a more nominal, like true nominal,
like
rating
flaws versus right.
But I mean, A through F and S tier would have been interesting. I mean, had we thought about, who knows, maybe in a different, or
in a live stream or something, we could kind of go through a tier list or something like that.
That would be fun to go through, like, the month's, like, reactions tier, or like a quarterly tier list. I don't know, but
yeah,
that's.
Kyle says we do ratings based on our enjoyment of the movie or show instead of rating the movie itself. Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of essentially what, like, Zay and I, we do our rating takes into account our experience, right?
Right.
It's our experience and the movie, and just the overall aspects of the film that we enjoyed and what we appreciate and didn't appreciate, as well as, like, kind of like the experience we had. And at the end of the day, sometimes mood can directly affect it. Like I said, we were in a really good mood for Rambo, like a very good mood, hilarious laughing mood, and it made the movie feel so much better. That's why after digesting it for a little bit, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'd knock it down like a few points. But like the experience I had in that moment, like including like our contribution, was definitely like a 9.8. Like, it was just so much fun.
And Cam and I, we try to judge what we can on, like, cinematography and stuff. We're not educated enough to be like, oh, well, personally, I think the choice of shots here were just they should have went with a panning shot instead.
It's like, clearly they went with the Scandinavian plot B approach. It's like, wait, what?
It's like we're not versed enough in it. I've taken a film class. I don't remember half the terms we use. I mean, you hear me use some of the terms. I try to bring them in when I can, so I sound articulate. But 9 times out of 10, we're like, hey, how do we feel during this film? And then we just admire the fact, like, oh, that was a really cool shot how they did this, and that it played into our feeling. Did it make us uneasy? Did it add tension, etc., etc.? No.
All right. Well, look, Zay's got to get up in the morning, and so do I. We are reaching on 2 hours and 30 minutes here. Let's call it a night, guys. Of course, we do a stream every 2 weeks, so we hope to see you all back here again in 2 weeks. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for the support. And again, thank you so much, Alan. Your $500 super chat still hanging around.
It's gonna be there till next year. Oh my goodness.
it truly does mean a lot. If you're still here, I mean that was a
Seriously.
huge piece of generosity there, and you know, we'll never be able to express how great that is, and we do hope to get to 2010 during a sequel month.
Yes.
Hope you guys all have a great night. Hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. We'll talk to y'all later, and peace.
Peace.